One Piece, a technological madman, creating the strongest beasts. Chapter 1. In the New World, on an island outside the country of Wano, at a shabby stall selling repair equipment, a young man of about 17 or 18 years old shouted excitedly, attracting the attention of people around him. It's finally made. What he held in his hand looked very much like a dragon fruit, but it was the Suzanu fruit. In order to make it, Yaou made money by repairing equipment and spent a whole year by living frugally. By eating it, people can gain the ability of Suzanu to become larger and have both offensive and defensive capabilities. That way, you can get points. Yaou felt ecstatic. As a transmigrator, Yaou awakened the universal technology system, which allows him to create various inventions that do not belong to this world. These inventions will earn different points when used by people of different abilities. These points can be used to redeem or draw various rewards, including haki, devil fruit, taijutsu, lifespan, kidney capacity, etc. The prerequisite for unlocking the next technology is that the current invention is completed and someone must use it. Did you eat it yourself? Yaou was in trouble. Since this fruit is produced by the system, it will not conflict with the ability of the devil fruit, so Yaou does not have to worry about eating other devil fruits in the future. However, according to the system introduction, this Suzanu form requires the consumption of chakra, and chakra is a kind of energy that combines body and mind. Yaou, who was a fragile college student before traveling through time, is very aware of his physical fitness. What if after activating the ability, I overdraw and die? Forget it, I'd better not eat it. I just don't know which stupid boy will get the good deal. This is the Suzanu fruit. I have to pay more. Yaou muttered to himself. Dark clouds came, and Yaou's stall suddenly became extremely dark. On the street, a group of pedestrians looked up at the sky, and suddenly their faces changed drastically. Run away, run away! Dragon, it's a dragon! The street, which was peaceful just a moment ago, was now in chaos. Various stalls were knocked down, goods were scattered all over the ground, and the whole place was in a mess. Dragon? Yaou also subconsciously looked up at the sky. This person, isn't he Kaido, the king of beasts? Yaou's eyes suddenly widened. The first time I saw the four emperors, although Kaido did not use his haki, Yaou still felt it, it was a terrifying feeling. I'm just kidding. If you looked up and saw a terrifying creature so huge that it blocked out the sun, and it was staring at you with eyes bigger than yours, would you be scared? Life is so boring. Woo 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 woo. After crying, the huge blue dragon in the sky transformed into a human form, opened its arms, and began to fall rapidly. The corners of Yaou's mouth trembled. Brother, if you want to commit suicide, then do it. Can you please not do it over someone else's head? It will put a lot of pressure on them. Yaou's eyes were filled with panic. He didn't even bother to clean up his stall and started dodging frantically. Boom! Accompanied by a loud bang that resounded through the heavens and the earth. The huge black body smashed onto the ground and was torn apart in an instant. Cracks spread out from the huge pit like a spider web. A large amount of smoke was stirred up in an instant. The huge noise frightened all the birds and beasts within a radius of 10 kilometers, and they all fled in all directions wailing. Fortunately, Yaou escaped in advance and was only knocked to the ground by the air wave. His life was not in any danger. Didn't you succeed in committing suicide again? It's really infuriating. A rough voice came. In the smoke and dust, one could vaguely see a giant figure with a cloak walking out of the pit step by step. As soon as Kaido came out, he saw Yaou. Eye to eye. Yaou knew a little about Kaido's cruelty. Yaou was suddenly panicked. It had only been a year since he traveled through time and space and things were finally getting better, but now he was going to die? I can only comfort myself, I am a dwarf, this 7.1 meter tall giant should not be able to see me, cannot see me. A rough voice like that of a wild beast sounded. Who are you? How dare you block my way? Court death. His eyes were filled with the disdain of a superior for ants. Bolts of lightning struck the mace in Kaido's hand. Kaido raised the mace and wanted to kill the little devil who was in the way with one blow. The corner of Yaou's mouth twitched. Isn't this the famous scene from Le Ming Bagua? Luffy is so tough but he was knocked unconscious by a stick. It would be strange if I don't die. Be rational, you must be rational. Yaou gritted his teeth. He knew that in times like this, the calmer he had to be in order to come up with a solution. Correct. Kaido, although a bit cruel, is still very good to his subordinates. And the most important thing is that Kaido values talents very much. He even wants to recruit challengers like Kid and Luffy as his subordinates. As long as he shows his value, he will not die. Why not give the Suzanu fruit to Kaido? This way, not only can I save my life, but I can also earn points. Of course, if possible, I have to get some benefits. Are you Kaido? I've heard a lot about you. I'm a scientist. I think we can work together. Yaou, neither humble nor arrogant, tried his best to suppress the fear in his heart. Yaou knew that if you were to bow down and scrape in front of Kaido, he would think you were worthless. A huge figure approached Yaou. Kaido looked at Yaou twice before finally putting down the mace in his hand. The scientist. What kind of cooperation method? Kaido, slightly drunk, looked at Yaou with a dazed look in his eyes and asked. Yaou then took out the Suzanu fruit and explained it proudly. This thing is an artificial devil fruit I invented, the Suzanu fruit. The user can increase their body size 100-fold, and put on invisible armor all over their body, thus gaining the ability to attack and defend at the same time. Besides, my artificial devil fruit can be consumed at the same time as a normal devil fruit without any side effects. As long as you give me funding, I can research more and more inventions for your beasts pirates. Okay? Kaido's eyes narrowed tighter and tighter, staring at the Suzanu fruit in Yaou's hand. The aura that had been restrained before surged out again, causing Yaou to break out in a cold sweat on his forehead. Kaido suddenly raised his eyebrows. Attack and defense in one? How could a mere artificial devil fruit be so powerful? You asked me to eat 2 devil fruits, do you think I'm stupid? The next moment, Kaido raised the mace in his hand high above his head again and looked at Yaou with a ferocious look. Tell me. Who sent you here? The remnants of the Kojiki family, or the Dam Navy? In fact, Kaido is a very smart guy. Committing suicide everywhere is just a false impression he gives to the world. If someone can really kill him, he will definitely fight to the death with that person. Yaou panicked and almost forgot that he knew it was a system product, but others didn't know. I really didn't lie to you, Kaido. If you don't believe it, let someone else try. However, if you do this, you will lose a god-level fruit and the price of becoming a dual fruit ability user. Yaou explained hurriedly. Okay? Kaido's sharp eyes stared at Yaou again without saying a word. Being stared at like this, the air around them suddenly became heavy. Silence. Deathly silence. Although under tremendous pressure, Yaou still managed to remain calm. It was more than 10 seconds later that Kaido finally spoke. Ah, ha 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 ha, I'll just say you passed, little brat. However, I still have to take this fruit back and have Quinn test it. If it's really as you said, then you are a great contributor to our beast group. Just ask for whatever you want. If you lie to me. Kaido's eyes suddenly turned cold. Ah la la la, then put it in the oil pan. Chapter 2. After hearing Kaido's threat, Yaou felt relaxed instead. This was a product of the system. As long as someone tried it, it would prove its value. Once they see the value of the Suzanu fruit, the 100 Beasts pirates will definitely worship themselves like their ancestors. While Yaou was thinking, Kaido turned into a huge blue dragon, put Yaou on his head, and flew towards Wano country. On the Ghost Island, the 3 disasters, the 6 flying companions, and thousands of elite beasts were sitting together and holding a banquet. Sitting on the huge banquet table, Jack the Drought showed some worry. Lord Kaido, you haven't come back for so long, is everything all right? You know, at the last banquet, Kaido also turned into a blue dragon and flew away after getting drunk. The last news I got was 3 days later, when I was arrested by the Navy. After hearing this, Quinn was no longer in the mood to drink. He put down the wine glass in his hand and frowned slightly. Jack, don't talk nonsense, or you'll curse Lord Kaido. Yin stood up slightly from his chair, squinted his eyes and looked up at the sky. After thinking for a while, he was still a little worried. How about we go find Lord Kaido? Although there are ways for Kaido to come back after being arrested by the Navy, why should he endure that punishment? Just when everyone was undecided, Jack the Drought suddenly looked happy. Great! Lord Kaido is back! At this moment, they saw a huge green dragon circling in the sky and flying towards them rapidly. A huge blue dragon landed on Ghost Island. At this time, the pirates of the Beast Group discovered that there was a little devil riding on Kaido's back. Whose kid is this? so presumptuous. Even Prince Yamato didn't receive such treatment when he was a child. The three disasters and the 6 flying brothers all rubbed their eyes vigorously, wondering if they were dazzled. However, no matter how they rubbed it, the scene before their eyes did not change at all. Everyone looked at Yaou with unfriendly expressions. It really is the beast's pirates. Yaou felt like he was about to be drowned by the jealous and cruel looks. Finally, it was Jack the Drought, who had a more straightforward mind, who stepped forward. "Lord Kaido, who is this kid?" Jack pointed at Yaou and asked angrily. Kaido waved his hand and took Yaou off his body with one hand. "This guy is the one I picked up from Takeu Island. It was a scientist who said he wanted to give me the artificial devil fruit he was researching. This fruit is compatible with the devil fruit. Even if a devil fruit user eats it, he won't die." As Kaido spoke, he placed a dragon fruit-shaped fruit in front of everyone. Looking at the Suzanu fruit in front of them, the members of the beast's pirates around them were stunned at first, and then they started whispering to each other. "What? Did I hear it right? An artificial fruit that allows a devil fruit user to eat it without dying? Could it be that Lord Kaido was drunk and was deceived by someone? You must have been tricked. Unless you have a very special physique, no matter who you are, if you eat 2 devil fruits, you will definitely die. This is the iron law of the sea. Keep your voice down, don't let Lord Kaido hear us, otherwise we're done." It was obvious that no one in the entire beast's pirates believed what Yaou said. This is natural. Even though Kaido is drunk at this time, he still has certain doubts about Yaou. How can the iron law of the sea be broken so easily? Just because he couldn't understand these inventions didn't mean that his beast's pirates didn't have such talents. "Quinn, please research this kid and see if what he said is true." Kaido handed the dragon fruit to Quinn and ordered. Quinn, as a scientist of the beast pirates, has long been eager to find out the truth. Now with Lord Kaido's order, he can't wait to take out a special magnifying glass and start testing on the spot. Just as Quinn was studying, Jack the Drought suddenly appeared in front of Yaou with a ferocious look on his face. "You dare to deceive our boss Kaido, boy, you are very brave, aren't you?" Yin, without knowing when, had already grasped the long sword in his hand and came in front of Yaou with a playful look on his face. "Want to use 2 devil fruits to kill Mr. Kaido? Boy, have you ever been tortured? I will make you live a life worse than death." On the other side, Quinn, looking at the Suzanu fruit, kept rubbing his small eyes under his sunglasses, and his breathing became rapid. After repeatedly confirming that the artificial devil fruit in front of him was real, Quinn exclaimed. "Lord Kaido, what this kid said is true. I have never seen such a sophisticated artificial devil fruit, which actually has no side effects with other devil fruits." Quinn took back the magnifying glass in his hand and looked at Kaido with an exaggerated expression. "It is true?" Jin's hand holding the long sword suddenly loosened, and the playful expression he had before disappeared. He looked at Yaou in surprise. "Is this kid a genius?" Drought Jack swallowed hard, his expression also changing suddenly, filled with shock and astonishment. Although Jack doesn't understand the technology, he is not a fool. He understands the concept of being able to ignore the iron law of the sea of technology that can cause the death of the devil fruits. "Ah, I didn't expect it to be true." Kaido was even more ecstatic. He patted Yaou's shoulder and laughed heartily. Putting aside other things, this technique alone, ignoring the death penalty from eating the devil fruits, can be called heaven-defying. Those pirates of the beast's pirates who had not been optimistic about Yaou before, looked at Yaou again, but their eyes had quietly changed, the previous doubts disappeared, replaced by a look of admiration. There are such powerful scientists in this world. When it comes to scientific research on how to deal with the side effects of devil fruits, the boy in front of him has probably surpassed Vegapunk in his skills. "Let me give it a try. This guy said that if I eat his body, my size will increase 100 times, and I will also gain the ability to attack and defend at the same time." The next moment, Kaido swallowed the devil fruit into his stomach without saying a word. If the ability of this fruit is really as Yaou said, then it would not be far from his dream of launching a world-class war and becoming the Pirate King. Chapter 3. The next moment, after Kaido took the Suzanu fruit, bursts of green light suddenly surrounded his body. Kaido, his entire body, mouth, body, thighs, all changed into the form of a blue dragon in order. A huge creature appeared in front of everyone. However, the huge blue dragon form did not stop there. Immediately afterwards, the muscles all over the body of the huge blue dragon began to swell rapidly again. In just a few seconds, Kaido's blue dragon body expanded 100 times. Originally, it was noon when the sun was high in the sky and the sunlight was still very dazzling, but Kaido's body was so huge that the sunlight in the sky was completely blocked. Day turns into night in an instant. Above the sky, bolts of lightning struck from time to time, allowing people to barely see Kaido's huge body. At this time, the blue dragon in the sky is not only huge in size, but one of its dragon scales is as big as a small island. What's more terrifying is that Kaido has an extra layer of steel armor around his body. The quality of the armor is not inferior to the armament armor at all. When the minions of the beast's pirates saw the huge creature in the sky that was so huge that it made their scalps tingle, they all opened their mouths in shock, with exaggerated expressions. So big, really big. I feel like even a single hair from Lord Kaido's tail in this form could crush me to death. It's hard to believe that there really is such a terrifying artificial devil fruit in the world. No. Even if it's a real devil fruit, it can't be this scary, right? The key is that this fruit is not bound by the iron rule that devil fruits will lead to death. Yaou's achievements in devil fruits have surpassed the world's greatest scientist, Vegapunk. Ha 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 ha. With such a huge body, I'm sure Lord Kaido's combat power will also skyrocket. Our beast's pirates are about to take off. On the other side, Kaido was very excited, feeling his huge body in Suzanu form and the indescribable energy that suddenly appeared in his body. Ah, hey, 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 hey. A huge mechanical blue dragon was hovering in the sky. The movement of the dragon's body alone could create tornadoes. Kaido was in an extremely good mood. He looked left and right at his current form and immediately became playful. I wonder how my attacks will be strengthened in this form. Kaido grinned, and the next moment, without any hesitation, he launched his wind blade towards a hill 10 kilometers away. The next moment, a hurricane arose again, blowing all the nearby minions all over the place. The piercing sonic boom sounded from the sky. Drought Jack subconsciously looked up at the sky, and then his eyes suddenly widened. What kind of move is this? It's incredible, right? Jack swallowed his saliva, and beads of sweat flowed from his forehead. Even though he boasted that his defense was comparable to that of a ferocious beast, he did not dare to withstand even a wind blade from Kaido in his current form. The wind blade in its current form no longer has just cutting force. Its rotational acceleration force is more than 10 times higher than that of simple cutting force. Even Drought Jack, who activated his strongest mammoth form and attached a layer of armed armor, had no confidence that he could survive even one wind blade from Kaido. Plague Quinn, the cigar slipped from his mouth, his eyes filled with excitement. Just as I predicted, this kind of devil fruit is definitely more than just a way to make it bigger. Offensive and defensive moves will also undergo a qualitative change. As a scientist, Quinn discovered many incredible things when he was testing the Suzanu fruit just now. Therefore, before Kaido showed his Suzanu power, no one understood the power of this fruit better than Quinn. Yin's expression was completely different from everyone else's. He was very nervous. As if he suddenly realized something, he quickly moved in front of Yaou and blocked Kaido's aftermath. Seeing that Yaou behind him was fine, Jin breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, this was the future Lord Kaido's support for launching a world-class war. He must not let anything happen to this kid Yaou. At the same time, the brothers of the beast's pirates felt helpless. They were so careless. Wasn't there anyone who could protect Yaou? So, he reprimanded all the pirates around him in a reproachful tone. At this time, the pirates around finally realized that they almost made a big mistake. If Yaou died, with Lord Kaido's temper, he would inevitably kill thousands of minions to vent his anger. If things go wrong, even Quinn and Jack will be severely punished. In fact, Yaou also wanted to seek protection just now, but the wind was so strong that he couldn't speak at all. When he opened his mouth, all that came in was wind. Fortunately, there are still people with brains in the beast's pirates. After making sure he was safe, Yaou looked up at the sky curiously. The moment Yaou looked up, even his expression became one of surprise. I saw the wind blade spinning at high speed in the sky. The powerful force contained in it caused cracks to appear in the space. Good guy. This is not a wind blade, it is clearly the Rasen Shuriken from the Naruto world, okay? Kaido, how come he can use ninjutsu? However, after thinking about it again, Yaou felt relieved. In the Suzanu state, special ninjutsu can be used. When Uchiha attack faced Nagato's Chibaku Tensei, he used Suzanu's unique long-range attack ninjutsu, the Yasaka no Megatama. Kaido, as one of the 4 emperors, is naturally gifted, so it is understandable that he can emit an enhanced version of the wind blade. While Yaou was thinking, a pleasant prompt sound suddenly rang in the system. Ding! It is detected that the 4 emperors Kaido uses the technology Suzanu fruit developed by the host. If the conditions for use are met, the host will be rewarded with 2000 points and can unlock the next technology. The reward points will be matched to each user based on their combat power, with no limit on the number of users. Kaido, as one of the 4 emperors, is extremely powerful. Therefore, even if he is alone, he can add a full 2000 points to himself. Points can be exchanged for various rewards in the system mall. Originally, Yaou planned to accumulate these points until they reached 10,000 points, and then go all in for a golden 10 draw. However, the aftermath of Kaido just now made Yaou feel how insignificant his own fighting power was. Not to mention fighting with others, even if they accidentally passed by, they might be killed by the aftermath of the fight between the 2 bosses. If I report to heaven early before accumulating 10,000 points, wouldn't I be at a loss? Therefore, Yaou temporarily decided to exchange the 2000 points first so that he could protect himself. So, Yaou first added 1000 points of physical strength to himself to ensure his basic physical fitness. He also bought 1000 points of agility and advanced observation haki, which allows him to briefly predict the future. With physical strength, at least I won't be killed by the aftermath of a strong man in the future. Moreover, with agility and advanced observation haki, even if I encounter a powerful enemy and cannot defeat him, at least I can run away. I hope the next technology can add more points. Yaou made a prayer gesture. All the rewards were used up at once, and Yaou had to hope to earn more points from the next technology. System, unlock the next technology. Chapter 4. Ding! Host's will is detected. Next technology is unlocked successfully. New technology, Anywhere Door. A pleasant reminder sound rang in Yaou's mind. Anywhere Door? Is it the door in Doraemon that can travel through space at will? After hearing about this technology, Yaou couldn't help but smile. In this way, the points I spent won't be wasted. What's the point of accumulating points? The next skill will cost at least 10,000 points. Your own arbitrary door, as long as you can enter this door, theoretically you can get extra points. By that time, not only Kaido can add points to himself, but almost the entire beast group can add points to themselves. Although ordinary people can't add as many points as Kaido, the amount is still huge. While Yaou was immersed in his system reward, Kaido had already retreated from the form of Suzanu in the sky and landed back on the earth. Kaido transformed into human form again, looked at Yaou, and walked towards him step by step. The suspicion that Kaido had shown towards Yaou before had completely disappeared, and now all Kaido was left with was joy and excitement. Now Kaido looked at Yaou as if he saw some treasure. Naturally, Kaido would not let go of this treasure that could help him realize his dream. Ah, hey, 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 hey. Boy, your invention is really powerful. Now, my fighting power is so strong that I can easily defeat Roger at his peak. As soon as he came to Yaou's side, Kaido patted Yaou's shoulder with his big hand, excitedly expressing his inner excitement. This really scared Jin. I was just about to remind Kaido not to beat Yaou to death. However, when he saw that Yaou, who was hit by Kaido's big hand, was staggering but not seriously injured, he was slightly stunned. Okay? Jin was a little dazed for a moment. It's strange, this kid seems to have become stronger. Are you also a special race like me? Jin narrowed his eyes and attributed the reason to his special physique. In the world of pirates, especially in the New World where strong people abound, strong physiques are nothing new to King. What about the powerful giants, the long-legged tribe whose legs suddenly explode, the fishmen whose strength increases greatly in the sea, the naturally strong ghosts, and the Lunaria tribe who can add defense at any time? There simply can't be more. I can't even count them all. The only one who can count them is Big Mom, that old witch who likes to collect humans of all races, right? So, although Yin was a little surprised, he didn't care too much. Kid, from now on you are a member of our beasts pirates. If you have any requests, just ask. Kaido, after expressing his excitement, wanted to win over Yaou. What does your own beast group lack the most? Isn't it talent? Kaido has never been stingy with talents. Even if they are his enemies, Kaido will be fond of them, not to mention Yaou, who helped him improve his terrifying combat power. What if Yaou becomes dissatisfied with his treatment and leaves the 100 Beasts group? That would be a huge loss for me. The boss has spoken, Yaou. Of course it is impossible, like in the previous life, when the interviewer asked about salary intentions, he was afraid that he would be eliminated if he said too much. In this life, I must live a wonderful life. 3 points. First of all, I need your unconditional protection, including yours, Kaido. This is understandable. In fact, even if Yaou didn't mention it, Kaido would protect Yaou unconditionally. Secondly, I want to be second to none and above everyone else. Below one person, above 10,000 people? The minions of the Beast's pirates began to whisper to each other. This kid, isn't he asking for too much? Isn't he afraid that Lord Kaido will be angry? Yes. As a newcomer, I'm afraid it would be difficult for the captain to agree to such a request all of a sudden, right? After hearing Yaou's words, Kaido hesitated for a moment. To be honest, with Yaou's contribution, it is not excessive to ask for this position. However, nowadays, the one who is second to none in the Beast's pirates is his good brother King, who has been following him through thick and thin since he was rescued from the Navy laboratory. Yin, don't you have any objections? When Kaido looked at Jin, he had the answer in his heart. Mr. Kaido, if our Beast group wants to dominate the world in the future, we will definitely need the support of top scientists. This kid's devil fruit technology even surpasses Vegapunk. I don't think this request is too much. Jin quickly expressed his opinion, fearing that Kaido would cause the Beast Pirates to lose such a top scientist because of him. La la, what Jin said is right. From now on, Yaou will be the scourge of our Beast's pirates. Second to none and above 10,000 people. Is there anyone who disagrees? Seeing that Jin had no objection, Kaido directly gave his orders. Even King has no objection, but if other people have any objections, Kaido will not tolerate them. The members of the Beast's pirates are not fools. They dare not disobey the decisions of the captain and the vice-captain. What's more, Yaou's technology is so powerful that it really deserves the title of natural disaster. In their hearts, they still recognized Yaou. They questioned Yaou's identity just now because they were worried that Kaido would not agree. At that moment, except for the 3 disasters, all the members of the 100 Beasts, including the 6 flying companions, shouted, "Lord Calamity! Lord Calamity!" For a moment, the place was bustling with noise and it was quite spectacular. These people are shouting from the bottom of their hearts. Just one invention can allow Lord Kaido to surpass the other 4 emperors competing on the same stage and possess the power of the Pirate King. What a terrifying technology! If we can have a good relationship with Yaou in the future, even if we give them some scraps of technology, it will definitely greatly increase their strength. In the world of pirates, it's a law of the jungle, and isn't it all about who's stronger? But how easy is it to improve your strength and stand out from the crowd in this world? But, now, Yaou gave them this hope. One piece of technology can be worth someone's lifelong efforts. With Yaou, there is hope. From now on, I have to have a good relationship with this Lord Natural Disaster. In the crowd, Phos4, who was wearing a red mask with bullhorns and had a bounty of 5 million Baileys, narrowed his eyes under the mask and whispered softly. He is an extremely ambitious 6 flyer who has always been eyeing the position of Big Boss, but has never been able to achieve his wish. Now, Yaou's appearance made him see hope again. With Yaou's terrifying technology, even if he was given some scraps, he could become a pirate with a combat power of 1 billion. At that time, if I come to Kaido to ask for the promotion to the top leader, Lord Kaido will not be able to say anything. Feeling the people in the 100 Beasts Corps calling him Lord Calamity one after another, Yaou felt a great sense of satisfaction in his heart and almost lost himself in these lords. It's still fun to travel through time. Before, Yaou was a little worried that someone from the Beast's pirates would deliberately cause trouble, but now it seems that there is no need to worry at all. Although the Beast's pirates are somewhat divided under Kaido's governance, it must be said that everyone respects talents. It is not an exaggeration to say that among all the 4 emperors' groups, this is the group that treats talents the most favorably. The third point is that you must unconditionally provide me with the funds and materials needed for the technology I develop. Now, I need 100 billion Baileys in funding. 100 billion? Normally, Quinn, who was in charge of scientific research expenses, jumped up. 100 billion. Yaou, are you sure you are talking about 100 billion Baileys? Quinn wondered if he had heard it wrong, opened his mouth wide, and asked in surprise. You know, even the artificial devil fruit trade that Kaido has always valued, the annual purchase volume is only 50 billion belly. Even if we cut off their captain's head, if we could cut it off, we could only get 46 billion berries. Adding these two items together, they still don't add up to 10 billion. Chapter 5. Even Yan Zhejian frowned slightly and couldn't help but speak. Professor Yaou, isn't 100 billion a bit too much for research and development? After all, the Beast's pirates have a large number of members, and the food and drink for such a large family alone is an astronomical figure. Add to that the purchase of artificial devil fruits, and the annual expenses are 20 billion. If another 10 billion is spent on scientific research at once, the finances of the entire Beast's pirates will inevitably become tight. It's indeed 100 billion. However, Yaou was not worried about the expenses at all. Wait, when I tell them about the technology I invented, maybe they won't think 100 billion is too much. Kaido, who had been standing aside with his eyes tightly squinted and deep in thought, finally spoke. Yaou, you want 10 billion Baileys all at once. Do you have any other inventions? Being able to create god-level artificial devil fruits and ignore the objective law that double devil fruits will lead to death, a top scientist like Yaou must have good other skills. I just don't know what other technological inventions are. For Kaido, money is not a big problem. At worst, I can just ask that big snake guy for it. If it's not enough, you can still grab. But the key question is, with this 10 billion, such a huge number, can you use it to develop good things? If it's a high-tech product like the Suzanu fruit, Kaido would be willing to pay 100 billion, let alone 200 billion. But if 10 billion is wasted and there is no result in scientific research, Kaido doesn't want to be the scapegoat. That's right, these 100 billion Baileys will be used to develop my next new technological invention. Yaou said with a confident smile. Really? Just as I imagined, there is a new invention. Kaido also became curious. I don't know. Can you tell me about the next invention? If this invention is really worth 10 billion berries, Kaido will naturally not hesitate, but if it is an ordinary invention, Kaido will still consider it carefully. After all, nowadays, his family is big and powerful, and he represents the entire pirate group. Such a huge sum of money cannot be spent casually. The other members also pricked up their ears, wanting to hear what kind of invention was worth 10 billion Baileys. You know, even the Beast's pirates spend less than 100 billion Baileys per year on technological research and development. This is still under the premise that the Beast Group attaches great importance to technology. The other four emperors, such as the Whitebeard pirates and the Red Hair pirates, have invested even less in technology. Could it be that Yaou's second invention can still be comparable to Lord Kaido's Suzanu fruit? Jin fixed his eyes on Yaou with an expectant look. But as soon as Yin's words came out, he was interrupted by Quinn beside him. You are a pervert who only knows how to torture people. This kind of thing is absolutely impossible. Just this one item, the technology of artificial Suzanu fruit, has surpassed Vegapunk. It is a cross-era technological product in this world. Do you understand the meaning of this sentence? Quinn took a long drag on his cigar and said firmly. He is also a scientist, so he naturally understands the difficulty of developing technology like the Suzanu fruit. It is a miracle among miracles that Yaou was able to accomplish something that even Vegapunk could not. This proves that Yaou's natural talent in devil fruit is much higher than that of ordinary people. As for other aspects of scientific and technological talent, they will certainly be weakened accordingly. Quinn, who is also a scientist, knows better than anyone that it is possible for Yaou to develop other ordinary technologies, but the possibility of possessing two epoch-making technologies in one level is zero. Jin also showed a disappointed expression in his eyes. In fact, Yin was just asking tentatively, but he didn't expect that there was no hope at all. The next invention is called Anywhere Door. It's a space technology that can travel to any place you've ever been to. Yaou continued to explain to everyone. Just now, Quinn, who had asserted that Yaou could not continue to develop any advanced technology, suddenly changed his expression and his lips began to tremble with excitement. Space technology? Space technology that is more difficult than artificial devil fruit technology? Moreover, there is no distance limit? Quinn felt a little dizzy. Is this, still a human being? Not likely. Like Quinn, the pirates from the nearby Beast's pirates also shook their heads, indicating that it was unlikely. I have heard of the door-to-door fruit. It can travel through space, but it is only limited to the distance between doors. Anywhere door, the distance you can travel through, is actually unlimited. Isn't this a bit too far-fetched? Yes, this kind of space technology is much more difficult than artificial devil fruits. Even Vegapunk has not made any progress in space technology. Lord Calamity can suddenly open a portal to travel to any place, which is a bit unbelievable. However, otherwise Kaido would be able to become the boss and awaken the domineering Haki. After hearing Yaou's words, Kaido did not hesitate at all. Kaido chose to trust his subordinates unconditionally. "Ah la 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 la, kid, I hope you won't let me down. Jin, take 10 billion from the treasury to support Yaou." Kaido just waved his hand and said excitedly. Quinn had originally doubted Yaou, but now that Boss Kaido had spoken, he naturally couldn't say anything. Moreover, Quinn has been in charge of scientific research, and he is also in charge of many scientific research materials. So, he bit his cigar and spoke to Yaou. "Brother Yaou, although I still don't quite believe that you can create a portal, don't worry, if you need anything, just let me know, and I will do my best to support you." Yaou didn't say anything polite and just smiled. "Thank you very much, Yaizai. I happen to have some research and development materials that I really need. Could you please get some for me?" Then, Yaou made a list. Quinn took a look and was shocked. These materials were all contraband items that were only available on the black market. If it weren't for the long-term cooperation between the Beast Pirates and Doflamingo, these materials would be really difficult to get. However, at the same time, Yaou also gained a little more confidence in his ability to create the Anywhere door. "There are a lot of materials here that I don't understand clearly, but Yaou seems to be very familiar with them. Even the proportions are written clearly, accurate to 1/10,000th. This is called professionalism. Ah, ha ha ha, today is really a good day, how about we have a party tonight?" Seeing his men cooperating so well with Yaou, Kaido was really happy and directly proposed to hold a banquet. In Wano country, the capital of flowers, in a luxurious private room, a beautiful dancer with exposed white legs is singing and dancing. In the center of the private room, a short and wretched old man was staring at the dancers with lustful eyes. "Yes, that's it. Move your butt a little harder, ha 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 ha." This person is the general of Wano country, Kurozumi Orochi, the nominal ruler of Wano country. Just as the big snake was dancing, the sky suddenly turned dark, and there seemed to be a faint sound of sonic boom in the sky. The timid snake immediately became alert. Is it related to the remnants of the Kojiki family? "Kyo's hero, check for me and find out what this strange phenomenon in the sky is all about." Chapter 6. A warrior with narrow eyes and light blue hair, after receiving the order from Kurozumi Orochi, nodded to the snake and began to check. After a while, Kyojiro's spy provided the information through Den Den Mushi. "Report to the general, don't worry, the changes in the sky have nothing to do with the Kojiki family, but are caused by Kaido. However, it is still unknown what exactly Kaido's new move is." Kyo's hero said respectfully. "Kaido?" After hearing that it was Kaido, Kurozumi Orochi felt a little relieved, but there was a hint of doubt in his eyes. He didn't remember that Kaido had the ability to make the sky dark. Did Kaido hold back when he fought Odin, or did Kaido become stronger again? Next time you meet Kaido, you have to be careful. Just as Kurozumi Orochi was thinking, Kyojiro's voice sounded again. "There is one more thing I need to report to you. Kaido and his men said that they are going to hold an important banquet today to celebrate the appointment of the new disaster, the natural disaster. They need you to provide them with the best wine and food." Natural disasters? Kurozumi Orochi didn't care about the new disaster. According to past rules, the later the disaster is, the lower the combat effectiveness. The combat effectiveness of the newly recruited natural disasters is not as good as Jack. Kyo's hero can deal with a pirate with a combat effectiveness of less than 1 billion, and he still doesn't take Orochi seriously. However, Kurozumi Orochi was very angry because Kaido repeatedly asked him for supplies. "Damn it, Kaido! Do you think of yourself as a nanny?" Naturally, Kurozumi Orochi is very disgusted with Kaido, who was originally used to deal with Odin but is now a very hot potato. However, due to Kaido's powerful strength, Kurozumi Orochi had to cooperate with Kaido. Especially now, Kaido seems to have suddenly developed a terrifying move, and Kurozumi Orochi dares not disobey Kaido. "Tell Kaido that the best food and wine will be delivered to them soon." Kurozumi Orochi said very reluctantly. At the same time, I have made up my mind that if I have the chance in the future, I will go to Kaido alone to find out what Kaido is doing recently. On the Ghost Island, a grand banquet was held as scheduled. At the banquet, the 3 disasters, the 6 flying companions, everyone was drunk, but when facing Yaou, without exception, they all toasted respectfully. They really need Yaou's technology that can make Kaido stronger. Brother Yaou, please take care of me in the future, ha ha ha. Lord Calamity, please come and visit me often. My station is not far from your laboratory. Lord Calamity, if you need anything in the future, no matter if it's Bailey or Maiden, we have plenty of them in Wano country. If you like, just let me know. Seeing the beast's pirates, whether it was the 3 calamities, the 6 flying creatures, or the major true warriors, trying to curry favor with him, and the banquet filled with state banquet level delicacies and fine wines, Yaou felt secretly happy. If you are tired of scientific research in the future, you can find some dancers from Wano country to relax and have fun. That's totally fine. Even Kaido approached where Yaou was sitting. First he burped loudly, and then looked at Yaou with a dazed look on his face. Yaou, today I was experimenting with the Suzanu form, but how come I'm already a little tired after only activating it for less than 10 seconds? Do you know why? Kaido expressed his doubts. Yaou narrowed his eyes slightly. Just as he imagined, the Suzanu form wasted chakra. So, Yaou told Kaido the basic principles of chakra. Chakra, in essence, is a new energy that is a perfect fusion of physical and spiritual power extracted from within one's own body. As for Kaido's physical strength, needless to say, he is very strong, but the problem lies in his mental strength. So, Lord Kaido, after your chakra amount increases, I think you will not only be able to adapt to the Suzanu form, but your heat breath, lightning power and attacks will also undergo qualitative changes. In addition to wind blades, heat breath and the power of thunder and lightning, can they be further enhanced? After hearing Yaou's explanation, Kaido gulped down a large jar of wine with a look of excitement on his face. Ah, ha ha ha, so that's how it is. That's great, Yaou. Here's to you. Looking at the muscular and sturdy Kaido in front of him, Yaou couldn't help but sigh. Kaido understood Chakra's explanation immediately. Sure enough, no matter which world a strong person goes to, his talent is first-rate. At the banquet, after almost all the top leaders of the Beast's Pirates toasted Yaou, Yaou officially announced that he would be in seclusion for 3 days. After all the materials are gathered, the research and development of the Anywhere door will take 3 days. During this period, I will stay in the laboratory for 3 days. Please don't disturb me during this time. 3 days? After hearing Yaou's words, the previously chaotic banquet hall suddenly became quiet. The pirates of the Beast's Pirates looked at Yaou one by one, and were extremely shocked. Wow, a door that can travel through time and space, Lord Calamity, can it be completed in 3 days? This efficiency is too scary. Quinn, who was in charge of the Beast Corps technology troop, widened his eyes and almost choked on his wine. 3 days. That's space-time technology that can travel through space without limit. It was made in 3 days. Jin also slowly exhaled a puff of smoke and looked at Yaou with his sparkling eyes. With this kid here, Mr. Kaido will surely accomplish his great cause in the future. Mr. Kaido, it's absolutely a blessing to be able to pick up such a genius. Kaido was even more delighted, and patted Yaou's shoulder with a kind look on his face, without any of the hideous and terrifying feeling in the anime. 3 days, ah la 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 la, good good good. Kaido was so excited that he said 3 good words in a row. If Yaou's experiment can really succeed, the Beast Group will have the ability to come and go freely. This will provide incomparable convenience for the entire Beast's Pirates in launching war. Just imagine that without any warning, the Navy suddenly discovered that an entire group of the 4 emperors had descended upon them. Would you panic? Moreover, even if the Beast's Pirates can't defeat them, they can still run away. I can't beat you, so after destroying your facilities and wiping out some of your manpower, I'll leave without giving you any time to react. If they come a few times like this, even if you are a giant, you will be exhausted to death. This is the Anywhere door, and it plays a huge strategic role in war. In a sense, to the entire Beast's Pirates, the Anywhere door is more important than their own Suzanu fruit. Kaido was ecstatic and announced another piece of news while he was happy. Since Yaou wants to practice, I will also go into seclusion and practice chakra in the next 3 days. 3 days later, Yaou and I will appear together. By then, our 100 Beasts pirates will have a double celebration. Ah la 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 la. Kaido, with an exaggerated arc on his lips, laughed heartily. The minions around them also congratulated Kaido and Yaou in advance and waited for their victorious return. Amid the crowd's boasting, Kaido looked at the 6 flying cells. His expression suddenly became serious, and a huge sense of oppression instantly came over him. Yaou, we will use Quinn's laboratory temporarily, and move to the new laboratory after it is successfully built. During Yaou's research, no one is allowed to disturb him. Anyone who enters the laboratory within a 10-kilometer radius must report in advance. 6 flying cells, this matter is left to you. You two will take turns on duty for a day until Yaou comes out. Kaido suddenly gave an order with a coercive force. Runty, Sasaki, and the other 6 fellows all bowed their heads in respect, not daring to be careless. The minions of the Beasts pirates around looked at Yaou with envy. Good guy, just let the 6 flying cells be the gatekeepers. This treatment is almost equal to that of Admiral Kaido, right? Lord Kaido, it turns out that he treasures Yaou very much. Everyone couldn't help but look up to Yaou again, hoping that they would have a chance to curry favor with Yaou in the future. Chapter 7. After giving orders to the 6 flying creatures, Kaido looked at the 3 big signs again. While I'm away, you'll be in charge temporarily, Jin. And Quinn, hurry up and get the materials Yaou needs. The sooner the better. Now, I can't wait to see that magical door, ah la la la. After saying this, Kaido, under the influence of alcohol, transformed himself into a huge blue dragon, riding on the clouds and mist, and finally disappeared into a deep mountain. Quinn, knowing the importance of his mission, contacted Doflamingo immediately after the banquet. In Dressrosa, inside the huge palace, it was magnificent and gave people a feeling of ultimate luxury. On the king's throne, a man was sitting with his legs crossed, tasting the finest red wine produced in Dressrosa. This man, with blonde hair, wearing a pink feather coat and sexy burgundy sunglasses, gives people a very arrogant feeling. He is the king of underground transactions, one of the 7 warlords of the sea, Doflamingo, codenamed Joker. Bulu bulu. Bulu bulu. On the marble desk, the phone suddenly rang. Doflamingo, who was enjoying the wine, showed a hint of surprise when he saw the phone message was from Quinn. Come to think of it, the person that the beast pirates had been trading with had always been Jack the Drought. Why was it Quinn who called him now? Could it be that there was something wrong with the artificial devil fruit given to the beast pirates last time? FFFFFFFFFFF, Quinn, long time no see. The last shipment was pretty good, wasn't it? Doflamingo picked up the phone and greeted him symbolically. Quinn did not answer the question about the artificial devil fruit. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff, go ask Drought. I came to see you for other business. On the other side, Quinn spoke carelessly while smoking a cigar. Doflamingo was slightly stunned. It turns out that there was no problem with the last shipment, but what kind of business was it that made Quinn trade with me personally? In the Beast Pirates, Quinn's status is much higher than Jack's. In front of Jack, both Quinn and Yin are like brothers. That also proves that this cooperation is likely to be more important than the artificial devil fruit. Thinking of this, Doflamingo, a businessman, smiled slightly. Then tell me. Don't worry, there is nothing in the underground world that I, Doflamingo, can't get. A series of materials were reported directly. Often works with Caesar, Doflamingo, and has some scientific knowledge. Doflamingo, who had looked relaxed before, suddenly changed his expression after hearing these materials. These are all rare materials, and it is extremely difficult to make anything with these materials. What does Quinn want to do with these things? Noticing Doflamingo's hesitation, Quinn frowned slightly. If this can't be done and it delays Yaou's time in developing the portal, he will be responsible, so he hurriedly asked. What? Joker? You can't do it. Doflamingo smiled bitterly. That's not the case. However, Quinn, let me remind you that if you want to make something with these things, it's almost impossible. And besides, these things are very expensive, even more expensive than artificial devil fruits. We also don't accept returns, I hope you can understand. Doflamingo warned. What if Quinn gets these things, fails to make anything, and comes to me to return them? I won't do that, so Doflamingo gave Quinn a heads up in advance. After hearing what Doflamingo said, Quinn breathed a sigh of relief, took a puff of his cigar, exhaled the smoke, and spoke slowly. Don't worry about that, Joker. You have to prepare these things for me today. I have already sent them to the Endower flying team. They are going to your place. Just hand over the goods to them. No problem. Doflamingo showed a hint of surprise in his eyes, but he quickly regained his composure. Don't worry, I'll do the job, Quinn. I wish us a pleasant cooperation. FFFFFFFFFFFFF. Then, they both hung up the phone. However, after hanging up the phone, Doflamingo's unique laughter suddenly stopped. They asked us to prepare it today, and even sent out a special flight team? This batch of goods, it seems, is more important to the beast group than the artificial devil fruits in my smile factory. The beast's pirates, what on earth do they want to do? Doflamingo, his sunglasses reflecting white light, muttered to himself. Afterwards, Doflamingo specially called all the cotters of the Don Quixote family and directly started a family meeting. You guys, have your spies keep a close eye on the beast group and see if there's anything unusual going on there. I always feel that something big is about to happen in the beast pirates. Doflamingo said with a serious expression. Seeing that their young master was so concerned, Toribel and other family members did not dare to be careless. Yes, young master, we will arrange it right away. In the New World, inside the palace of the International Cake Island, Big Mom, one of the 4 emperors, is 8 meters 80 centimeters tall, extremely plump, wearing a loose pink dress and heavy makeup. She is eating a cake in one hand, while with the other hand, she is staring at a photo that was recently sent by Morgans, the president of the World Economic News Agency. This photo is from Wano country. In the vast darkness, at the moment when lightning appeared, a dragon tail with a mechanical tail was captured. Looking at the scene in front of her, Big Mom's pupils showed surprise. Could it be Kaido? Damn it! Has Kaido become stronger? I have never seen this form before. Big Mom's eyes were full of jealousy. We agreed to snatch the one-of-a-kind secret treasure together, and then you, Kaido, quietly became stronger. Do you want to keep the secret treasure for yourself? Given the friendship that Big Mom had for Kaido, there was no need for her to send people to investigate like Mingo did, but instead she directly picked up the Den Mushi. That guy Kaido still owes me a favor. He dare not tell me why he became stronger. Bulu bulu. Bulu bulu. The other end of the phone was finally connected, but the voice that came was not Kaido's, but King's voice. I'm sorry, Big Mom, our Lord Kaido is in seclusion for 3 days. If you have anything to say, please wait until Lord Kaido comes out. On the other end of the phone, Jin's voice was neither humble nor arrogant. What? In seclusion? Big Mom's heavily made-up eyes narrowed tightly. Retreat? Kaido, that drunkard, would retreat? Wouldn't it drive him crazy? Jin, tell me honestly, does Kaido have any unspeakable secrets recently? Big Mom yelled loudly while chewing the cream cake, and the fat on her face kept shaking. This is our beast group's business, I have no comment, Big Mom. If there's nothing else, bye. Facing Big Mom's roar, Yin did not show any panic. Asshole? Is this the way to talk to the 4 emperors? With Big Mom's temper, she wanted to scold him, but considering that it was Yin, maybe she could subdue him and use him for her own country, adding a mysterious and powerful race to it. Big Mom, still suppressing her anger, hung up the phone. After hanging up the phone, Big Mom stopped chewing. What the hell is Kaido doing? No, I must get to the bottom of this matter. After 3 days, I will contact Kaido again. Then, I will see what you, Kaido, will say. Anyway, you bastard, you owe me a favor, Kaido, mama. When Big Mom thought that Kaido owed her a favor, her mood suddenly improved, and her shrill laughter could be heard throughout the palace. New World, in the Admiral's office in the Naval Headquarters building, Sengoku was holding a newspaper, his hands shaking with anger. The headline of the newspaper was, Supernova Ace joins the Whitebeard pirates. Garb. Your wonderful grandson has become the 2nd captain of the strongest pirate group. The angry Jean Guo howled. However, he discovered that Garb, who had just stayed in his marshal's office, crossed his legs and secretly ate senbei, had disappeared. Jean Guo could only smile bitterly. He also knew that Garp really wanted his family to become Marines, but unfortunately, their family genes, starting with Dragon, seemed to have gone to the other extreme. There's nothing I can do, Garp. I've tried my best. Dong dong dong. The door rang. That bastard carp, he still knew how to come back. Come in. Sengoku said unhappily, ready to give Garp a good scolding, but the person who came in was an intelligence officer. Marshal Sengoku, according to the intelligence, the beast's pirates have a fourth disaster, a natural disaster. He is a scientist. However, our spies in the beast group are only the lowest level pirates and have never seen the face of the natural disaster. The scientist? Zhang Guo narrowed his eyes slightly, feeling very surprised. How could a scientist become the chief executive of the beast group? Is there some secret in this? As a marshal, he had a hunch that this natural disaster was not simple. Notify the intelligence soldiers of the Beast Corps to do everything they can to get information about this natural disaster scientist. Chapter 8. 3 days later, in the laboratory of the Beast Corps, Yaou looked at the huge pink portal in front of him and laughed out loud. Finally finished. For this door, Yaou also took Kaido's height into consideration, as he is over 7 meters tall, so the height of the door alone was made 10 meters. Looking at the masterpiece in front of him, Yaou felt a sense of accomplishment. I immediately decided in my mind that I should give it a try first. I don't know. With my current combat power, how many points can I get by using this door? With a hint of curiosity and anticipation, Yaou opened the anywhere door. In the giant portal, bursts of smoke instantly filled the air. Yaou thought about his previous stall on the island and then walked straight in. A door suddenly appeared above the stall on Taikyu Island in Wano country, and then Yaou walked out. The people around were startled by Yaou. Why did a door and a person suddenly appear? What is this? A devil fruit user. The whole street became restless in an instant. Yaou scratched his head. He didn't expect that just an experiment he conducted would cause quite a panic to the local people. The next moment, he hurriedly entered the door again and returned to his laboratory. You know, Onigashima is 1,000 kilometers away from his previous stall. Now, he can instantly cross the 1,000 miles through a door, which is comparable to the time and space ninjutsu. It's worthy of being called anywhere door, awesome. Yaou, with the corners of his mouth curled up to the sky, boasted about his masterpiece. Ding! Detected the host using the anywhere door, reward points 5. Yaou, who was so excited just now, felt like he was poured with a bucket of cold water when he heard the system prompt sound. The corners of his mouth that were raised to the sky began to twitch. 5 points. I'm still so weak. It seems like we still have to let Kaido and the others try the anywhere door. Only in this way can I accumulate 10,000 points and reach the number of points required for a golden 10 draw streak. Afterwards, Yaou walked into the arbitrary door. At the door of the laboratory, Kaido had already come out. After learning that Yaou had not come out yet, Kaido ordered all members of the Beast's pirates to wait for Yaou 100 meters away at the door of the laboratory. Although it rained a little today, cotters gathered around the small laboratory, from the donors to the 6 flying compatriots. The 3 big signboards were all crowded with people waiting outside the door with anxious anticipation. Just to take a look at Yayou's new scientific research result door to anywhere. Being able to go to any door you've been to at will, this kind of god-level technology is exciting just thinking about it. With this thing, won't our beast's pirates be invincible in future battles? If you can beat me, I'll send down my divine soldiers every day. If you can't beat me, I'll just run away. Don't jump to conclusions so early. We still don't know whether Lord Natural Disaster can successfully develop such an amazing technology. It doesn't matter if we can't develop this kind of god-level technology, right? After all, space technology is too difficult. Even Vegapunk doesn't dare to get involved in this field. Just as everyone was whispering, a door suddenly appeared in everyone's sight. Okay? Who is it? Noticing the abnormalities around him, Yin picked up his weapon and became extremely alert. The person who could sneak into the core area of the beast pirates without being discovered suddenly and without any warning must be a strong man like Mr. Kaido. On the other side, Yaou had just walked out of the door when he saw countless elites from the 100 Beasts pirates. What was even more terrifying was that King seemed to be about to chop him. Don't do it, Jin. It's me, Yaou. Yayou's mouth twitched. If he was beaten to death, it would not be fun. After noticing it was Yaou, Jin put away his weapon. Yaou? Why did you suddenly come out from behind us? Yin touched his head sheepishly and asked awkwardly. This is the portal I researched. It can make me appear anywhere I've been. For convenience, I just used the portal to get out. This saves me from having to walk. Yaou explained to Jin that he was almost hacked to death because he was lazy. It seems that if I want to experiment with any weird inventions in the future, I will have to inform the people of the beast's pirates in advance. Otherwise, being mistaken for an enemy spy and hacked to death would be a waste of time. Anywhere door? Everyone's eyes were instantly focused on the door behind Yaou. Plague Quinn, as a scientist, he understands the difficulties of space technology best. Now, Yaou actually created the portal in just 3 days? Quinn opened his mouth excitedly but couldn't say a word. He just stood there, motionless. Giloo. Giloo. Only mouthfuls of saliva could be swallowed down his throat. Drought Jack, a man with a simple mind, took 2 steps at a time and quickly came to the door. He touched around and looked around with a surprised look on his face. It's unbelievable. This door can actually travel through space. Jack asked in shock. Ah, hey, 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 hey. Kaido's loud laughter suddenly resounded in the surrounding area. To be honest, the happiest person here must be Captain Kaido. With this door, his dream of launching a world-class war will become possible. When Kaido arrived in front of the anywhere door, his face was full of surprise. You really didn't disappoint me, Yaou. Tell me quickly, how do you use this door? Faced with Yaou's new invention, Kaido can't wait to try it out. This is naturally very simple, Boss Kaido. All you need to do is use your brain to imagine a place you have been to before, and then walk through the door, and that's it. Yaou slowly explained to Kaido. It's that simple? At the door of the laboratory, the 3 disasters, the 6 flying cells, and the real fighters all opened their mouths wide. How come this method of use sounds so dreamy? It's clearly a technological product, so why does it feel like a fantasy product when you use it? As long as you imagine, you can reach the place you have been before. My goodness, this can't be explained by science at all, okay? Kaido was delighted again when he heard that it was so easy to use. Where are you going? Correct. I always feel that the big snake guy is pretending to be disobedient to me recently. I'll just go over and suppress this guy first. Then, Kaido walked in casually. Chapter 9. While Kaido was using it, he was greatly impressed by the appearance of Yaou and the anywhere door. It was 10 meters high, which was perfect for his body. Just like that, Kaido disappeared from everyone's sight in front of everyone. After seeing such a magical scene, Quinn, who had been shocked and speechless before, suddenly spoke. What a great invention! Yaou, look, can I give it a try too? Such a magical thing, surely, has usage restrictions. In Quinn's opinion, the more magical the invention is, the more limitations it will have. After all, even a simple artificial devil fruit carries the risk of smile. But, to Quinn's surprise, Yaou waved his hand. Don't worry, there is no limit on the number of times you can use it. If anyone wants to go in, they can go in with Boss Kaido. Quinn was shocked again. There is no restriction on use, everyone who wants to enter can enter together. Don't be too invincible, okay? The next moment, the 3 big bosses, 6 flying cells and some elites all walked into the door with curiosity. Looking at the people walking in one by one, Yaou was so happy that his mouth was almost reaching the sky. These are all the elites of the Beast Corps. They can add a lot of points to yourself. Maybe, 10 consecutive draws will be enough to get the gold medal. The only drawback is that everyone has to queue up to get in, so it's impossible for the several thousand people to enter at once. However, this is not a big problem. Later, I can discuss with Kaido to make a few more doors, and try to let the trainees who clean the toilets of the beast pirates use them, so as to increase my points. Afterwards, Yaou also stepped into the portal, and the entire portal disappeared directly on the spot. The remaining minions of the 100 Beasts group all had envy in their eyes. This kind of good stuff, when can I try it? It's so amazing. It's comparable to the ability of the Space Devil Fruit. Don't worry, didn't Lord Tianzai just say that everyone can use it? One day, it will be our turn. In Wano country, inside the Shogun's residence, Orochi was still carrying out his routine operations as usual. Harder. Twist your butt harder. Gah-hee. The big snake with a lewd look on his face was drinking while admiring the graceful dance of the dancer. At this moment, a pink door suddenly appeared in the ballroom of the general's mansion. The sudden scene made the big snake, who was indulging in wine and sex, suddenly change his expression. What is this? A member of the Odin family. Protect the Emperor, come and protect him. In an instant, dozens of warrior guards appeared all around, led by Kuang Silang. Kyo's hero and the others all fixed their vigilant eyes on the door. Afterwards, the door opened and a huge figure walked out, which surprised Dashi and the others. What's the situation? Isn't this Kaido? Kaido's blue dragon form has awakened his spatial ability? Are mythical beasts so powerful? Orochi was even more jealous. Speaking of mythical beasts, I am the Yamata no Orochi form of the snake fruit. Why is it that the ability I developed is only to be chopped a few more times? Ah, ha ha ha, big snake, you are still so cautious. Noticing Orochi's excessive nervousness, Kaido felt a wave of contempt in his heart. He originally cooperated with Orochi for Odin, but now Odin is dead. In Kaido's eyes, Orochi is becoming less and less useful. Feeling that Kaido looked down on him, Orochi was very dissatisfied, but due to Kaido's strength, he still put on a smiling face. Go-ho-ho. Better safe than sorry. But, speaking of which, Kaido, why did you suddenly appear here? Did you learn a new ability? The snake asked tentatively. He actually dodged the observation haki and appeared out of nowhere at his own cocktail party. This ability is really against the will of heaven. Orochi thinks it would be best for him to figure it out. The big snake's words had just been finished. The next moment, the elites of the 100 Beasts group, including the 3 disasters and 6 flying cells, who were behind the door, suddenly walked out one by one. The entire reception room became crowded in an instant. It's really here, ha 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 ha. It can be seen that everyone has an expression of surprise on their face. Looking at so many people suddenly arriving, Kyo's hero narrowed his eyes. So many people came here all of a sudden? If that's the case, it's unlikely to be Kaido's ability. It's a bit like... You guessed wrong, Orochi, this is not my ability. This is not outdated, it's just a small invention of our beast group. Kaido said proudly, and even said, to show off, it was just a small invention. The big snake's mouth twitched. Wow, you summoned so many people all of a sudden, and you tell me it's just a little invention? If you use this little invention of yours to assassinate someone, it would be too easy, right? Thinking of this, the big snake's heart suddenly skipped a beat and his face looked a little strange. When I meet Kaido next time, I need to be nicer to him, otherwise, I might be killed in my sleep one day. With this door, any guards are useless. The other guards, looking at the pink door in front of them, were equally shocked. Technological inventions? This kind of thing is not a devil fruit ability, but a technological invention? Especially Kyo's hero, his heart was always in turmoil. If I can get this door, maybe I can save Kawamatsu and the other 9 red scabbards and use it to launch a surprise attack on Kaido. In this way, can I kill Kaido? Go-ho-ho-ho. Congratulations, Kaido. I didn't expect Quinn to be able to invent something so great. Thinking that Kaido now has such a strong assassination ability, Kurozumi Orochi lowered his posture and started to flatter Kaido. Who would have thought that after hearing Kurozumi Orochi's compliment, Kaido was not pleased, but instead a hint of anger appeared in his eyes. Quinn also hurried to explain. How could I possibly invent something so amazing? Big Snake, don't talk nonsense. Just at this time, Yaou, the last one, walked out from the crowd. Kyo's hero noticed that the Shinichi who had arrived earlier, and even the 6 flying creatures, the 3 calamities and others, actually made way, allowing the young man to walk all the way to right behind Kaido. Who is this young man? It feels like his combat capability is at most at the level of 6 flying cells. Why is he so valued by the 100 Beasts group? Kyo's hero expressed that he was a little confused. Could it be that? Is this person the inventor of this door? Thinking of this, Kyo's hero recalled the banquet held by Kaido to celebrate the natural disaster 3 days ago, and he guessed it at once. This kid, could it be a natural disaster? He's so young. Kaido, too, walked towards Orochi. Kaido, who is over 7 meters tall, looks at the 3-5 meter tall Orochi as if he were a child. A condescending aura comes over him. Big Snake, remember this. This door is called Anywhere Door, and its inventor is the new member of our group, Calamity Night Feather. And you recognized the wrong inventor. Apologize. Apologize to Yaou. Kaido, there was a little more anger in his eyes. Even if Orochi doesn't apologize, Kaido doesn't mind just wiping him out right now. Although, it is still too early to kill Orochi now, as it will be detrimental to his rule in Wano country. But now that he has Yaou, these problems are not a big deal for Kaido at all. Chapter 10. Kurozumi Orochi was completely dumbfounded and stood there in a daze. Apologize? No matter how weak I am still your ally, Kaido. Now, you want me to apologize to your men because of such a small matter? What scientists in the scientific community care about most is that the fruits of their hard work are misrecognized by others. Quinn couldn't stand Snake's behavior at all. Yes. Apologize to our Lord Calamity. Quinn also said. The other members of the 100 Beasts group all wanted to curry favor with Yaou but couldn't find a way. Now, seeing that this was a good opportunity, they all started drinking. General Dashi, you don't know how to respect Lord Calamity. Hurry up and apologize to our Lord Calamity. Apologize to Lord Calamity. For a moment, the entire box was filled with the voices of the beast pirates demanding an apology from Orochi. These sounds created invisible pressure on the snake. The big snake was both frightened and confused. Isn't it just a mere fourth disaster? Why, Quinn, you actually called him Lord Scourge. Even the Vice-Emperor, Quinn, has never shown any respect to me. Also, is the appeal of the new Scourge so strong? Just because of one sentence, all the elites of the Beast Corps who came here asked me to apologize? A drop of sweat appeared imperceptibly on General Orochi's forehead. Seeing that Yaou was not a simple person, Dashi finally gave up his face and had to compromise. The big snake came to Yaou while rubbing his hands, with a smile on his face like a chrysanthemum. Lord Tianzai, I was blind just now. I still hope that Lord Natural Disaster can forgive me. All the dancers who were dancing before were dumbfounded. For them, Orochi is the pinnacle of power. I never thought that the big snake would be so servile in front of a young man. All the dancers couldn't help but secretly look at Yaou, the big shot. Still, quite handsome. Then, the cheeks of all the dancers turned red. For Yaou, being mistaken for an invention is just a small matter, but after being messed up by Kaido and his gang, it is now difficult for him to keep a low profile. Yaou smiled bitterly and waved his hand. Since you've admitted your mistake, I won't pursue the matter, Orochi. Seeing that Yaou did not pursue the matter, Kaido suppressed his fierce aura and laughed in the banquet room. Ah la 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 la, that's right, Orochi. All of you remember this, from now on, when you see Yaou, it's like you've seen me, Kaido the Beast. Kurozumi Orochi, Kyo's hero and other guards were shocked once again. It was not until this time that they realized that Kaido valued Yaou more than Jin. The big snake also secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, he had given in just now, otherwise, the consequences would be disastrous. Since the experiment on the Anywhere door has been completed, let's go back. By the way, Dashi, I came to see you for one more thing. We, the Beast Group, are a little short of funds recently in order to develop new technology. Please lend us 10 billion berries and deliver them to Ghost Island in the next 2 days. Ah la 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 la. Kaido laughed. Then, the image of a Nagashima appeared again on the other side of the portal. Kaido and others left the scene one after another in front of Orochi. Only General Dashi was left, his eyes twitching. Damn Kaido! Do you think of me, Orochi, as an ATM? You haven't paid me back yet. The big snake's body trembled with anger and it roared angrily. But considering how powerful Kaido was, he suppressed his anger and looked at Kyo's hero. Kyo's hero, check that random door for me. For a fanatical warmonger like Kaido, he would definitely not be willing to develop just one of that kind of door. Once there is a chance to obtain that kind of portal, you must get one for me no matter what the cost. The snake said very seriously. That kind of thing can instantly move to any place you have been to. For the big snake, it is simply a magical skill. Of course, for the big snake, this kind of thing is not for launching a surprise attack. Instead, when you see an enemy you can't defeat, you use it to escape. As you command, Lord Orochi. Kyo's hero said with a respectful look, bowing his hands. However, there was a barely perceptible cold light flashing in the corner of his eyes. Of course, I will get that door at all costs, Kurozumi Orochi. However, I will never teach you how to use this door, even if you kill me. I will use this door, together with the other 9 red scabbards, to kill you and Kaido. Inside the haunted house on Ghost Island, the elites of the beast group gathered together. Ah, the way the big snake got frustrated just now was really pretty to watch. Thinking back to Orochi's humble behavior before, Kaido felt secretly happy. In fact, Kaido is still feeling resentful about the fact that when he was fighting against Odin, Orochi sent people to help him, which allowed him to win in an inglorious way. Now, in front of everyone, he damaged the face of the big snake and made the big snake pay 10 billion berries. It was simply a huge profit. Of course, Kaido also knew that if it weren't for the amazing assassination effect of Anywhere Door, Orochi would not have given in so quickly. Thinking of this, Kaido became playful again. The image of a strong old man gradually emerged in Kaido's mind. Kaido's eyes flashed with bright lights, and he spoke with anticipation. I suddenly thought of something that's more fun than making a big snake suffer a setback. If you're not afraid of death, just follow me. Ah la 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 la. Anyway, this Anywhere Door has no restrictions on use, so Kaido will naturally not let it go. This time, it is a perfect opportunity to use the Anywhere Door to anger his mortal enemy. After hearing Kaido's words, the people around were slightly stunned and started to guess what the good place Kaido was talking about was. It was still Jin, the flame disaster, who was more intelligent and immediately understood where Kaido was going. Mr. Kaido, do you mean to go to Whitebeard's lair? Jin said with a smile. Whitebeard's lair? The most powerful pirate group in the world, for the Beasts group, that place is the most dangerous place after the Navy headquarters. Yaou looked helpless. Kaido is a really active guy. Even with the Anywhere Door, he is still troubled by these active elements. If you are not afraid of death, follow me. After saying this, Kaido carried his mace and swaggered into the portal. One by one, the pirates shouted and stepped into the door. Seeing Kaido acting so recklessly, Jin gave Yaou a bitter smile. I hope you don't mind, Yaou, Mr. Kaido has always been like this. As a scientific staff, you can choose to stay or follow us. But please rest assured, I will definitely guarantee your safety. Yin said with a solemn oath. Dr. Yaou, what is your choice? Chapter 11. Yin naturally had his own considerations for doing this. Anyway, now that we have the Anywhere Door, with Jin's speed and the time travel of the Anywhere Door, Jin can do it. If there is danger, he can fly into the Anywhere Door with Yaou within 0.01 seconds. There is no need to worry about Yayou's safety. And, Yaou, naturally, doesn't want to be looked down upon. So, Yaou, very bravely, opened his own system. Nowadays, almost all the elites of the 100 Beasts group have used their own magic doors, and their points have reached 12,000 points. System, use the golden 10 draw combo. Under Yayou's command, the system's pleasant prompt sound also rang. Ding! Persist until the hosts will consume 10,000 points, and activate the golden 10 draw combo. 10 consecutive draws of gold, start drawing. Congratulations to the host, I have extracted the basic level of armament haki. Congratulations to the host, you have extracted the basic level of Conqueror's haki. Congratulations to the host, you have extracted the intermediate level of observation haki, you can briefly see the future. Congratulations to the host, 1000 points of physical attributes have been extracted. Congratulations to the host, you have drawn 1000 points of swordsmanship. Congratulations to the host for drawing the Navy's 6-style moon step. Congratulations to the host for drawing the Navy's 6-style storm leg. Congratulations host, you have extracted the magnetic devil fruit. Congratulations to the host, the magnetic fruit has been developed to the intermediate level. Congratulations to the host, draw, dodge 5 points. Looking at the huge rewards, Yayou's face was filled with excitement. Sure enough, at the beginning, I had been saving points, waiting for the golden 10 draw and holding back my ultimate move. Now it seems that it was definitely the right bet. He directly obtained all 3 colors of domineering, and even his observation haki has reached the level of being able to briefly predict the future. In terms of physical fitness, swordsmanship, and physical skills, there has been a significant improvement. More importantly, he actually obtained Kid's magnetic devil fruit, which made his fighting power even more powerful. Oh, by the way, in the future, when I am conducting research and development, this magnetic fruit can help me save a lot of time by taking objects from a distance. Yaou suddenly remembered that many of the equipment and materials in his laboratory were actually made of metal. With the help of the magnetic devil fruit, it would be much easier for him to do research and development in the future. Finally, Yaou saw the last reward, and his eyes lit up. Dodge point? This is something I have never heard of before. In the world of One Piece, are there still points for dodge? With great curiosity, Yaou directly clicked on the introduction of the dodge point. Dodge points, special lottery reward, cannot be purchased actively, can passively dodge all attacks from the enemy. 5 dodge points can reach a 5% dodge chance. Okay? After seeing the introduction of the system, Yaou's whole body and eyes shone with bright lights. If not, Jin was right in front of him and Yaou was afraid of losing her composure, she would definitely scream. Although now it seems that there is only a 5% probability. All attacks can be dodged, and it is passive. This is a bug, okay. If he is really lucky, he can withstand Kaido and Big Mom's combination skill, Sea Domination, or even God Im skills without any damage. If you continue to gain these points, they will reach 100 points, which will make your defense invincible. Isn't this a bug? Ding! The rewards have been distributed. Host, do you want to conduct a combat capability assessment? Just when Yaou was extremely excited, the system prompt sounded again. Yaou naturally wanted to know his current combat power, so he directly clicked to agree. Ding! Perseverance completed, Shishibukai level. Combat power bounty, estimated, 7 million berries. Note, combat power bounty estimation, for reference only. As we all know, in the world of pirates, bounties cannot fully reflect the level of combat effectiveness. Haven't you seen that chopper, whose bounty was only 100 berries, transformed and threw the Plague Queen, who had a bounty of 13 billion berries, away with one shoulder throw? There is also a Water King like Buggy, who has a combat power of less than 31 million bounties, but has a bounty of 8,900 billion berries. It is not an exaggeration to call him the strongest king of the sea. Here, Yaou can roughly guess that now, his combat power is above the 7 warlords of the sea like Crocodile, but there is still a small gap from the billion-level pirates like Jack the Drought. Next time, if I'm lucky enough to do a 10-draw diamond game, maybe I'll reach the level of vice-captain or even admiral. That would be like riding a rocket. His thoughts returned to the real world. Facing Jin's invitation, a slight curve appeared at the corner of Yaou's mouth. He has the combat power of the 7 warlords of the sea, and he does not participate in the battle. With the existence of the Anywhere door, he can enter at any time. Even if Whitebeard wants to kill him, it is impossible. Needless to say, Jin? Although I am a scientist, I am definitely not a coward. Come in. I want to see if the most powerful pirate group in the world, the most powerful man in the world, is just a name in vain. Yaou spoke arrogantly. But Yin was slightly stunned. It's strange, why did I have an illusion just now that Yaou's aura was stronger than before? Maybe, it's because of the courage Yaou showed when he spoke just now? When facing the strongest pirate group, Yaou spoke without fear, and even with a somewhat arrogant tone, which naturally gave Jin the impression of a king. When detecting Yaou again, it turned out that Yaou's breath suddenly returned to normal level. Jin thought it was an illusion and didn't think much about it. He just put Yaou on his neck with his big hand, took big strides, and was the last one to step into the portal. On the Sphinx Island, the members of the Whitebeard pirates were gathering together, enjoying the sunshine on the beach and drinking. Known as the strongest pirate group in the world, on their own territory, even the Navy, the overlord of the sea, dare not provoke them easily. If, we must say what method can destroy this most powerful pirate group, it is to have a traitor inside, and let the Whitebeard pirates take the initiative to attack and go to someone else's territory to die. So, that night, the members of the Whitebeard pirates developed a lazy character. Ha ha ha! Captain Ace, let me toast you a glass of wine. You are simply my idol. I say, Tikai, you are considered a veteran, right? Do you really have no idea about the position of captain? Ah ha ha ha! I don't have that kind of ambition, Captain Ace. Kiazi, this time, I'm going to drink you down. Come on, Marco. Just as the members of the Whitebeard pirates were enjoying their wine, a pink door suddenly appeared in the sky. Okay? The captain, Whitebeard, suddenly put down the huge bowl of wine in his hand and looked up at the sky with squinted eyes. After discovering this, other captains also looked up at the sky. Strange. Why is there suddenly a door in the sky? Ace asked with a confused look on his face. Ace, I've heard before that there's a kind of devil fruit user, the door fruit, who can move in space over a short distance. Aang guessed. But this speculation was quickly rejected by Ace. Impossible. If the user of the door-to-door fruit wants to release his power here, he needs to go through layers of checks by our pirate group. There's no way he can come here so stealthily. This door is definitely not simple. As he spoke, he walked towards the huge gate, ready to find out what was going on. Chapter 12. Just as Ace was looking towards the door, a familiar face suddenly appeared in front of Ace. Ace's expression suddenly changed. Kaido. Following Ace's howl, the elites of the Beast's pirates, Quinn, Jack, 6 Flying Cells, Flame Disaster Jin and others came out from the Anywhere door one after another. The people in the Whitebeard pirates were completely stunned. What the hell is this? How come the guys from the Beast's pirates suddenly walked out of the door? Are we dazzled? Marco, Jaws and others rubbed their eyes one after another, thinking they were dazzled. But after rubbing their eyes, they found that the strange scene before them had not changed at all. Without taking the time to think too much, Ace's face darkened. Sound the alarm. You know, this island is the hometown of Whitebeard, and many people on the island are still ordinary people. They simply couldn't withstand the attack from the 100 Beasts group. Alarms rang across the entire island, and loudspeakers suddenly began to sound, announcing Kaido's invasion. When the nearby residents heard the alarm, they first showed expressions of disbelief, then fear, and moved away one after another. What's going on? Isn't this the island that the Whitebeard pirates are protecting? Why did Kaido suddenly appear without anyone noticing? How on earth did they get here? It's simply like the Arabian Nights. Run quickly. This is a battle of the 4 emperors level. It's not something that ordinary people like us can withstand. The originally orderly island suddenly became a mess, with shouts mixed with the sounds of hurried footsteps. Seeing his mortal enemy coming, Whitebeard's huge body suddenly stood up from his seat and walked towards Kaido step by step. Kaido, naturally, also noticed Whitebeard, and the two looked at each other, with a strong smell of gunpowder in the air. Long time no see, Kaido. The wound I left you during the last battle doesn't hurt anymore. Whitebeard said provocatively. In the past, whenever Whitebeard mentioned his wounds, Kaido would get angry. But this time, Kaido burst into laughter. Ah la 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 la. So what, Whitebeard, if you have the guts, just kill me. If you still can't kill me this time, I will definitely kill you, Whitebeard. Kaido said with a big laugh. Surprisingly, Whitebeard showed a kind of confidence in Kaido's expression that I haven't seen in a long time. That was the confident expression Kaido had when he challenged himself for the first time. It hadn't appeared for a long time since he was defeated by himself again and again. Kaido. What's going on with that door? Marco, with a pineapple haircut, stared at the door behind Kaido and asked suspiciously. Compared to the fight between these two people, Marco was more curious about the Anywhere door that instantly transferred Kaido and others. The other captains, one by one, also turned their eyes towards the door. Just now, all of them witnessed with their own eyes that Kaido and his group appeared from the door one by one out of thin air. It's hard for them not to care about such weird things. Looking at the serious expressions of the members of the Whitebeard pirates, Kaido felt secretly happy. Ha 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 ha, Whitebeard pirates, you guys have come to this day too? Just wait, you will know clearly in a moment that the strongest pirate group in this era is no longer your Whitebeard pirates, but my Beast's pirates. With a refreshed mood, Kaido proudly introduced his own invention to everyone. This is called Anywhere Door. With it, you can go anywhere you've ever been. How is it? Surprised or not? Ah la 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 la. Jin, who was standing aside, touched his forehead helplessly. When will our boss change his habit of talking too much? This magical invention should be kept secret, how can he tell anyone about it? However, think about it, Yaou will have more powerful inventions in the future, and with the current status of the 100 Beasts group, even if they tell others, others will be unable to do anything about them, so he feels relieved. What? Anywhere door? And, can you reach any place you have ever been? After hearing Kaido's explanation, everyone's faces suddenly darkened. Isn't this definitely the ability of time and space? Thinking of this, everyone felt a chill down their spine. With this thing, if you use it for a sneak attack, you'll be invincible. You can imagine that one day when you are sleeping at home, several big men suddenly appear in your bedroom and attack you as soon as they come out. Even a strong man like Whitebeard would have a hard time defeating him. But Ace soon discovered the problem, something seemed to be wrong. Impossible. Even Vegapunk can't develop such a terrifying technology. How did you, the beast's pirates, do it? I don't believe it, you are lying. Ace said in a firm tone. If the world government can create this kind of incredible technology, there is no way they would not use it. Even the world government can't produce something, so how can the beast's pirates produce it? This is obviously unscientific. However, Marco suddenly remembered something and frowned. Wait. Ace, it's not impossible. I remember that there has been a rumor on the sea recently that the beast's pirates have recruited a new natural disaster, and he is a scientist. Could it be? Marco, suddenly aware of the recent news from the sea. At first, I didn't take it seriously, thinking that the beasts were just recruiting a character similar to Caesar. Now that I think about it, things don't seem as simple as I imagined. Kaido didn't expect that the entire Whitebeard pirates knew about him recruiting a new brother. Although he was a little surprised, he was very proud. Ah, ha ha ha. Marco, you're the smarter one. That's right. This door was developed by our 100 Beasts group's newly recruited Calamity Night Feather. As he spoke, Kaido pointed at Yaou. Whether it's words or expressions, it can be seen that Kaido is proud of Yaou, and the corners of his mouth can't help but smile to the sky. Yaou smiled bitterly in his heart. Following such a boss who likes to show off, it seems that I won't be able to keep a low profile in the future. Yaou, now that he has the strength of the 7 warlords of the sea, he can still remain calm in the face of such a big scene. Hello everyone, my name is Yaou. You can also respectfully call me Dr. Yaou. Yaou, trying to keep a calm mind, said in a pretentious manner. Chapter 13. All pairs of eyes looked towards Yaou. At this time, everyone realized that Yaou was actually on Jin's body. I didn't notice it before, because Yaou was too short and had no sense of presence, so everyone ignored him. Interesting guy. Whitebeard said with appreciation with a smile on his face. I just released a little bit of my domineering color. A scientist was so calm in front of me. Could it be, that he is also the owner of the domineering haki? Whitebeard's curiosity about Yaou became more and more intense. Ace was surprised when he saw Yayou's appearance. So young. I originally thought that to have achieved my status, I was considered young and promising. Unexpectedly, Calamity from the Beast's Pirates looks younger than himself. Moreover, despite his young age, he seems to be very courageous. Ace couldn't help but look up to Yaou. Ah ha 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 ha. What an arrogant little brat. Blackbeard narrowed his eyes and looked Yaou up and down. Obviously, he was very interested in Yayou's courage to face a strong man like Whitebeard without any fear. If I work alone in the future, should I bring Yaou over? Feeling the lustful gazes of the Whitebeard pirates, Jin's face suddenly froze. I'm warning you, don't think about attacking our natural disasters. Yin directly drew out the long sword from his waist and shouted angrily. The real fighters from the Beast's pirates around also surrounded Yaou one by one, very nervously, to prevent the Whitebeard pirates from snatching Yaou away. Humph! I am Whitebeard. I can't do something like forcibly snatching someone else's younger brother. But, Yaou, if you are willing, come to our Whitebeard pirates, and I will definitely accept you as my son. Listening to Whitebeard's words, Yayou's mouth twitched. Whitebeard, Whitebeard, you're good in every way except this habit of acting like a father all the time. Can't you change that? Yaou was speechless for a while. That's not necessary, Whitebeard. I still prefer the atmosphere here with Kaido. Kaido was furious when he noticed that Whitebeard was trying to win over the natural disaster that he had obtained with great difficulty right in front of him. Old man, you bastard, if you want to hit me, just hit me, stop talking nonsense. Is that so? That's such a pity, Yaou. Whitebeard, while speaking, bent his body and punched hard at the air on both sides of his body. Stab! Stab! In an instant, the entire air was filled with the sound of shattering. Invisible cracks formed by the vibrating force spread directly towards Kaido and others. Faced with Whitebeard's fierce attack, Kaido was no exception. The next moment, Kaido directly transformed into his blue dragon form. The huge blue dragon circled for a while, and tornadoes instantly formed in the air, carrying bursts of lightning, which collided with Whitebeard's vibration force. Rumble! Rumble! The entire island was filled with explosions, and the energy of the two people was overflowing everywhere. Kaido, I will make you pay for everything that is broken here. Whitebeard was very angry, but there was nothing he could do. Facing a strong man like Kaido, who was at the level of the four emperors, even he had to go all out. It's still unclear who will make whom pay the price, old man. The huge green dragon also roared. The next moment, members of the two four emperors groups fought together. The whole scene was instantly in chaos. And Jin, always in the sky, with a vigilant look on his face, protecting Yaou's safety. Once someone approaches, he will immediately use his long sword to chop them to death. After all, this is Whitebeard's territory, and the Whitebeard pirates have much more members than the Beast's pirates. After a few minutes, the Beast's pirates were already showing signs of defeat. Hot breath. The huge green dragon spewed flames from its mouth towards Whitebeard, and the temperature of the air around it suddenly rose by dozens of degrees. Suddenly, a big blue bird appeared in the sky. It was Marco in the form of the mythical beast Phoenix. Dad, attack! When dealing with a guy like Kaido, there's no need to tell him any principles. Odin was killed by Kaido's distraction, and Marco still feels a bit resentful about it until now. Marco said as he activated his undying flame. Although Kaido's hot breath caused damage to Marco, with the influence of the blue flame, Marco's body instantly returned to its original state. Seeing that his attack was broken by Marco, Kaido cursed angrily. Seeing the right moment, Whitebeard suddenly kicked the ground with both feet, and the terrifying vibration energy ball gathered in his hands hit Kaido's abdomen. Marco, you are really nosy. I can kill Kaido brat right away. Facing Marco's sudden attack, Whitebeard was not grateful, but the battlefield is the battlefield. As the strongest pirate, Whitebeard, although magnanimous, is not so stupid as to fight with principles. Just like when Odin was killed by Kaido due to his distraction, Whitebeard didn't think there was anything shameful about Kaido. Under the powerful energy, even Kaido, who has thick skin and flesh, was severely injured by the powerful force. Puff! A large amount of blood spurted out of Kaido's mouth in an instant. A huge green dragon also fell from the sky and landed heavily on the ground. As expected, it is a power that can destroy the world. Whitebeard, you old bastard, even though you are seriously ill, you are still so strong. Kaido, a warmonger, praised Whitebeard with blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. Jack, transformed into a giant mammoth, trampled on Kaido and came in front of him, looking very anxious. Boss Kaido, let's go first. This is Whitebeard's territory after all, so many people are coming here. Sure enough, looking around, the pirates from the Whitebeard pirates seemed to be an endless stream, rushing towards them in a black mass. Kaido, this time, I will definitely pull out your dragon tendon and use it as a skipping rope. Whitebeard, holding the supreme sword, with a gloomy face, walked towards Kaido step by step. It's time to avenge Odin. In the past, Kaido would have been extremely angry, but this time, it was completely beyond Whitebeard's expectations. Kaido, with blood still in his mouth, had a serious look on his face before, but at this moment, he suddenly burst into laughter. Ah, hey, 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 hey! The more people come, the better. Then, Kaido stared at Whitebeard with his whole eyes. Whitebeard, a boring pirate like you who only cares about your family won't understand. From now on, this sea is called the era of Kaido. I, Kaido, will be the pirate king. A world-class battlefield is about to begin. As Kaido spoke, his entire body began to swell suddenly, and layers of armor began to grow from Kaido's dragon scales. Chapter 14. In just 1 second, a Suzanu form that was 100 times the size of the blue dragon form appeared in front of Whitebeard. Ah, how are you, Whitebeard? Are you satisfied with my new form? Above the sky, a huge mechanical blue dragon blocked out the sun. The Sphinx Island, which had been sunny before, suddenly became extremely dark. Daytime instantly turned into night. At this time, the residents who had just left the island just wanted to take a breath, but found that the sky above their heads was dark. One by one, expressions of fear appeared on people's faces again. What's going on? Is there any extreme weather? Could it be caused by the battle between Whitebeard and Kaido? Wait, is that a mechanical dragon? It's a really big dragon. A little bit of light came through the tiny gap in Kaido's body, allowing them to see part of Kaido's body, and they were all shocked. A tiny dragon scale is larger than that of a sea king. It took them a long time to recover from their shock. Keep away, keep away. The aftermath of this battlefield is much wider than we imagined. After a series of roars, the local residents once again used all their strength to start their escape. On the battlefield, even Whitebeard was shocked when he saw Kaido's new form. Kaido, you guy, have you awakened? Whitebeard asked in surprise. Even though he was the strongest man in the world, he could sense a dangerous aura from Kaido at this moment. The other members of the Whitebeard pirates held their breath, each with a look of shock on their faces. Could it be that this is Kaido's true fighting power? Looking at the giant mechanical dragon that blocked out the sun in the sky, Ace's eyes were blank for a moment. Above the sky, Marco, who was fighting, widened his eyes. Damn it! I've never seen Kaido in this form before. This is going to be bad. Marco's expression suddenly became serious. Jaws and Vista also took fighting stances with heavy expressions on their faces. Asshole! Let's go together, isn't it just awakening? We have Daddy here, so we may not lose. At this time, except for Jin who was protecting Yaou, the other members of the Beast's pirates had been injured one after another, which gave the Whitebeard pirates the opportunity to free up their hands to attack Kaido. Phoenix Seal. Flower Sword, Rose Dance. Fire Punch. The White group launched attacks one after another, all at the same time, aimed at Kaido in the sky. Above the sky, the huge Suzanu Kaido looked at the Whitebeard pirates and suddenly attacked him, and he felt secretly happy. Ha 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 ha. Is this the strongest feeling? It's really, really great, okay. At this moment, Kaido seemed to have turned into a super boss, laughing heartily. The more people attack me, the more powerful I am. This is interesting. Ah la 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 la. In the sky, under the powerful aura of Kaido, lightning suddenly struck, and heavy rain poured down. Under the bright light of lightning, Kaido's huge dragon head suddenly appeared in front of everyone, making people feel a palpitation just by looking at it. This is the feeling that Kaido in the Azure Dragon state has never given them. Whitebeard also felt the difference in Kaido today. He did not dare to be careless. He took an attacking posture and activated the power of the Tremor fruit towards Kaido in the sky. In an instant, huge cracks appeared on the ground and in the air. Combined with the lightning and hurricanes summoned by Kaido, the entire island presents a doomsday scene. Facing the attacks from everyone, Kaido showed no intention of slacking off. Watch out, old Whitebeard, my new power, Spiral Evil Wind. Kaido said coldly with his eyes as if filled with blue flames of the underworld. The next moment, a large amount of Spiral Evil Wind suddenly came out of Kaido's mouth. These bad winds, like spiral shurikens, are located in the air, constantly making exploding sounds. Just listening to them makes people feel their scalp tingling. The power of Whitebeard's vibration was instantly wiped out by the cutting of the Spiral Evil Wind. However, these Spiral Evil Winds were not affected at all, and still rushed straight towards Whitebeard and his men at the speed of thunder. Buzzing! The sharp sound of explosion resounded through the sky. Okay? Whitebeard narrowed his eyes tightly, revealing a rare solemn expression. Everyone be careful, Kaido is very different from before. Whitebeard warned everyone vigilantly. After all, Kaido never gained any advantage in dozens of wars, big and small, before. Moreover, in terms of attack, his attack is much stronger than Kaido's. Now, Kaido's attack is even stronger than his own, which makes Whitebeard vaguely feel the breath of danger. On the battlefield, Flower Sword Vista frowned slightly. Unexpectedly, Kaido's attack is even more terrifying than his father's shock force. Bad wind. Come to think of it, it's similar to a slashing attack, right? Look, I'm stopping him. After he finished speaking, Vista, relying on his superb swordsmanship, released several slashes at the Spiral Evil Wind in the sky. However, what Vista did not expect was that his flower sword slash was instantly bounced off by the rapidly swirling bad wind. Moreover, the powerful spiral bad wind still followed the original attack trajectory and rushed towards Vista. Oops! Now, don't run away! Vista's face suddenly changed, and his armed color quickly spread over his two swords, crossing them in front of his chest, making a defensive posture. The sound of iron colliding rang out, and sparks instantly burst out from Vista's two swords. Vista only felt that there seemed to be a tremendous force pressing on his arms, and his arms felt numb. Vista! Whitebeard roared in the distance. In just a short moment, dozens of horrific scars appeared on Vista's body. Drops of blood flowed out of Vista's body. Fortunately, Vista defended in time, and with the help of armament haki and double swords, his life was not in danger. But even so, the amount of bleeding was scary enough. But before Whitebeard could take care of Vista, the remaining swirling bad winds collided with the other captains. On the battlefield, besides Whitebeard, there was also the Phoenix Marco who avoided the whirling bad wind, while the other captains of the Whitebeard pirates were all seriously injured. Whitebeard, with an angry and surprised look on his face. Even if Kaido is awakened, it is impossible for him to unleash such powerful power, right? This fighting power is even more terrifying than himself and Roger in their prime. What is going on actually? There must be other reasons why Kaido is in such a terrifying form now. However, Whitebeard, who is now so concerned that he is confused, can't figure out the reason why Kaido has become stronger. Just as Whitebeard was thinking, Kaido's loud laughter was heard again from the sky. "Ah la 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 la! Is that all, Whitebeard? Our grievances will be settled today. Your territory will belong to me from now on. The new era is the era of my pirate king Kaido." Above the sky, the huge mechanical blue dragon roared and opened its huge mouth. The swirling bad wind was even more terrifying than the previous wave, and it came with a sonic boom as it blasted towards Whitebeard and his men. Chapter 15. Rumble. Rumble. The entire island, under the impact of Kaido's spiral wind, was cut like a piece of tofu, with no intact place. A large amount of ruins rose up at this moment. By the time the smoke from the ruins cleared, Whitebeard and the others had disappeared. Kaido wanted to continue the pursuit, but found that his chakra was insufficient. The huge mechanical dragon body turned back into the form of an ordinary human, looking a little tired. It seems that the chakra training still needs to be strengthened. "I'll spare you this time, Whitebeard. Next time, it won't be so easy," Kaido said coldly. Anyway, his strength is there, and he has the Anywhere Door and the surprise attack technology. It is only a matter of time before he wants to bring down the Whitebeard pirates. Kaido doesn't care too much about it. Beside him, the minions of the Beast's pirates were extremely excited. They followed Kaido and the Whitebeard pirates, and fought dozens of battles, big and small. When have you ever taken advantage of someone? In the end, aren't they still forced to stay within the borders of Wano country and use the natural barriers to protect themselves? This time, they actually managed to drive away the Whitebeard pirates with almost no losses. Oh, by the way, we're fighting on someone else's territory. Simply, please don't be too invincible. Thinking of this, the pirates were all excited. Long live Lord Kaido! Long live Lord Calamity! From now on, our Beast's pirates will rule the world, ha 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 ha. With Lord Calamity's technology and Lord Kaido's strength, we are also men on the Pirate King's ship, ha 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 ha. Hearing the compliments from his subordinates, Kaido was in a good mood and waved his hand. "Young men, let's go home." Back on Onigashima again, Kaido sat carelessly on the throne, unable to stop smiling. Although Whitebeard escaped, but when he thought about Whitebeard's wonderful expression at that time, he felt ecstatic inside. "You old bastard, now you have come to this day." Kaido couldn't help but look at Yaou, and he felt even more relieved in his heart. "I definitely picked up a treasure. Yaou, you're the one who contributed the most in this battle." "Ah la 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 la." Drought Jack looked at Yaou with eyes full of admiration. "Lord Calamity, now that I have your technology, I understand that my previous wars were simply reckless." Jin also looked excited. "With the help of Yayou's technology, the war among our beast group is like art." Quinn looked at Yaou with the same look of envy. "Why does Yaou have such a brilliant brain at such a young age? Compared to Yaou, my decades of scientific research have really been wasted. Mr. Yaou, your technology is simply perfect. If I can be even 1/10 as good as you in my lifetime, I will die without regrets." This is not an exaggeration at all. In fact, if Quinn could have 1/10 of Yayou's technology, it would be possible for him to surpass Vegapunk. The minions around him gathered around Yaou, praising him endlessly. Kaido waved his hand. "Yaou, this is a bonus of 100 million berries, take it. Anjali's villa, dancers and fine wine are all rewards for you." In the magnificent cake house of Wanguo, Cake Island, as usual, Big Mom, one of the 4 emperors, was holding a super large cake in her huge hands, and her fat mouth was devouring it, twisting its body non-stop. Suddenly, the ant seemed to remember something, and her plump, bright red mouth that was chewing suddenly stopped. Sparrow, what day is today? Sparrow, who was standing aside, bowed respectfully to Big Mom. Dear Mother, today is February 2th. Okay? After hearing the date, the aunt was willing to put down the delicious cake in her hand, which surprised Sparrow. Mama. I almost forgot, today is the day Kaido comes out of seclusion. Damn Kaido. I must know why you can transform into that state. Then, Big Mom called Kaido directly. At this time, the Beast's pirates were still immersed in the joy of repelling the Whitebeard pirates. Seeing that the caller was Big Mom, Kaido frowned slightly. Okay? Big Mom, the intelligence information is so powerful that it's a little scary, right? I just came back from the Whitebeard pirates' territory, and he already knows about my deeds? Hey, Lingling. Kaido had just finished saying hello when Big Mom's roar came from the other side. Kaido, you idiot, you finally came out. Have you forgotten about me? Okay? Kaido, just now he remembered that when he just came out of seclusion, Jin seemed to have told him that Big Mom asked him to call back as soon as possible. However, Kaido was so eager to experiment with the anywhere door that he forgot about Big Mom's business. Ah, ha. Don't mind Lingling, I just finished my work here and was about to contact you. Kaido had to turn a blind eye and said with a wry smile. There's nothing I can do. It's Big Mom who took care of me on the Rocks ship before and did me a big favor. Big Mom, naturally, would not believe Kaido's words. This drunkard, hasn't he forgotten enough things? I won't argue with you about this. Let me ask you, have you gained new abilities, such as awakening a fruit? Don't deny it, I have your photo here. Then, a photo was sent via the video call. Looking at the photo in front of him, Kaido finally understood. I originally thought that Big Mom was well informed and knew about my anywhere door. Looking at it now, Big Mom's news is not that great, right? Isn't this the photo of Yaou transforming when he just joined the Beast Corps 3 days ago? Moreover, the picture was not clear, and I only captured my own tail. Lingling. I won't hide it from you. This is not the awakening of a devil fruit. It is a devil fruit developed by our beast group, Calamity. The Suzanu fruit. It can increase the user's body size by 100 times, while causing a qualitative change in both defense and attack. Kaido said truthfully. I originally thought that since I told the truth, Big Mom would thank me, but who would have thought that Big Mom would not appreciate it at all? Big Mom, who was at the other end, roared angrily after hearing Kaido's words. Stop talking nonsense, Kaido. There is no way such a terrifying devil fruit can exist in this world. Moreover, eating 2 devil fruits will kill you. Do you really think I believe it? Kaido felt aggrieved when he heard Big Mom's questioning words. I already said it was the power of technology. Where is this? To tell you the truth, I just went directly to the Whitebeard pirates and drove Whitebeard away. While explaining, Kaido proudly reported his battle achievements. Before, on the Rocks pirate ship, this guy Whitebeard had suppressed them a lot, and now he said it out loud to make Big Mom happy. As a result, the ant's eyelids twitched with joy. This is getting more and more outrageous. Do you really think you are a fool? Kaido, you bastard, you just came out of isolation today, and you arrived at the Whitebeard pirates in an instant? Could it be that you can teleport? Come on, teleport to me and let me see you. Hurry up and tell me the truth. Or, have you forgotten that you owe me a huge favor? The angry old lady directly used personal connections to talk about the matter. What Kaido hates most is Big Mom using personal connections as an excuse, and he is too lazy to explain. Since you don't believe me, I will fly directly to you. Alright. Lingling, I'm in a good mood today and don't want to argue with you. Just wait for me. Chapter 16. Beep beep beep. Beep beep beep. The sound of the den mushi being hung up rang out immediately. On the other end of the phone, Big Mom was stunned at first, and then she became furious. Kaido, you ungrateful bastard, it seems that you have really forgotten the kindness I have shown you. Not only did you keep the secret from me, but you even dared to keep me waiting. Asshole. Just wait, at worst we can just fight. Big Mom was extremely angry. Thinking about how she had taken care of Kaido, the ungrateful man, on the ship before, she felt even more chilled. After seeing Big Mom's rage, the entire Big Mom pirates dared not even breathe. Sparrow, who had always hoped that the relationship between Big Mom and Kaido would break down, saw this opportunity and carefully came to Big Mom, ready to say bad things about Kaido. But at the same time, a pink door appeared out of nowhere in the cake house, attracting Perospero's attention. What is that? Perospero looked suspicious. He remembered that none of his brothers and sisters possessed such a devil fruit ability. Katakuri had noticed the strange pink door long before Perospero discovered it, and he placed himself in front of Big Mom, with red lights flashing in his eyes. There's something wrong with this door. It's probably the enemy's space devil fruit ability. Be careful of assassins. After hearing Katakuri's hint, all the members of the Charlotte family in the cake house were on high alert, and the atmosphere instantly became solemn. The space devil fruit is a very rare devil fruit. They have only heard of the door fruit. However, how did the user of the door fruit manage to get close to the cake island so quietly with such a short transmission distance? Everyone was very confused. When the ant saw the door that suddenly appeared, her anger grew even stronger. Assholes! You all are bullying me, right? I want to see who is so bold as to defame the 4 emperors. Then, Big Mom fixed her eyes on the anywhere door, and her domineering aura suddenly appeared. Just wait for the person inside the door to come back. Ah, hey, 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 hey. Lingling, don't be nervous, it's me. Kaido's voice was heard from inside the door, and then the top leaders of the beast pirates came out from the door one after another. Before looking at everything in front of him, the ant, who was furious and ready to teach the assassin a lesson, was completely frozen, standing there in a daze. The other members of the Charlotte family who were preparing to fight widened their eyes, feeling a little confused. All of a sudden, so many people were summoned out from inside the door from a very long distance. What kind of devil fruit ability was this? They had never heard of it before. After rubbing her eyes frantically and making sure that she was not hallucinating, Big Mom opened her mouth and spoke in disbelief. Kaido? Why are you here? As soon as he went out, Big Mom said this to him, and Kaido rolled his eyes. Why am I here? No shit, you made me come? Lingling. Didn't you ask me to come here just now? And I told you to, just wait. Kaido said unhappily. It was not until this time that the members of Big Mom's pirate group reacted. So this means let Mom wait. Kaido didn't brag before. The corners of Big Mom's mouth twitched, her eyes quickly stared up at the sky, and she walked out of Kaido's room. In other words, this door is what you said, and it leads directly to the secret of the Whitebeard pirates. Big Mom asked in surprise. Everyone, including Katakuri, looked at Kaido. This was the answer they wanted to know. If this door can really achieve instant teleportation, then this technology would be incredible for surprise attacks, right? Before the combination, they had photos of Kaido's latest form. It is not difficult to guess that with these two technologies, it would not be difficult to defeat the Whitebeard pirates. The more I think about their inner thoughts, the more I feel that the current beasts pirates are so terrifying. Located in the center of the cake shop hall, Kaido sat casually on a chair, crossed his legs, feeling extremely proud. Yes, this door is called Anywhere Door. You can reach any place you have ever been to in an instant. As long as you can squeeze in, we can carry as many people as possible. Kaido replied with a smile. What? You can go anywhere you've been, and there's no limit on the number of people. Katakuri's eyes were slightly dazed and he swallowed. As the smartest child in the Charlotte family, he knows the war value of this door better than anyone else. Anywhere you've been. The ant also narrowed her eyes tightly, her eyes full of shock. I actually underestimated this door. The ant originally thought that the place leading to this door should have a distance restriction and a limit on the number of people that can enter. Looking at it now, this invention is even more amazing than the power of the devil fruit. Kaido, where on earth did you get such a treasure? The ant came to the door, touched the door frame, and asked with envy. Where did I get this treasure? Kaido was stunned at first, then he touched his head with his big hand and burst into laughter. Ah, ha 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 ha, I forgot to tell you, Lingling, this door was also invented by natural disaster. Kaido grinned and said with a laugh. Natural disaster? The ant just felt her brain numb. Now that he has witnessed the power of the Anywhere Door with his own eyes, it is not difficult to imagine that the Suzanu fruit that Kaido mentioned is probably real. However, I never expected that these two inventions were made by one person. One is a god-level devil fruit that ignores the iron laws of the sea, and the other is a top-level portal that allows instant teleportation over a large area. Even if it is Bahai, if Jiaji, the top scientist that he has always wanted to win over, can complete one of the scientific and technological inventions, he can say that he has no regrets in death, right? Kaido, you bastard, you are just lucky, right? Is there a natural disaster? Let me open my eyes. The ant asked hurriedly, with jealousy that was hard to conceal in her eyes. Chapter 17. In fact, Big Mom had heard about the new member of the Beast's Pirates, the Calamity. However, Big Mom still thought that Kaido had only recruited a guy of the same level as one of her 4 generals, Snaggle, and didn't care at all. Now, after learning about this, Big Mom realized that she had always underestimated this scourge of the Beast's Pirates. Today, no matter what, you have to see the natural disaster. Maybe it's some rare species, I can try to win them over. On the other side, Kaido frowned slightly and fell into hesitation. Seeing Kaido's hesitation, Big Mom spoke hurriedly. Kaido, don't forget. When I heard the auntie using the words that I hated to hear the most, I annoyed myself. Kaido quickly stretched out his hand to interrupt. He could have guessed with his eyes closed that Big Mom would use the so-called favors to make things worse. Stop talking, Lingling, I'll let you see, isn't that enough? Yaou, come with me this time, right there. Kaido pointed his finger in the direction of Yaou. The crowd dispersed, and Yayu's figure at the back appeared in front of everyone. So, just now, Yaou was swamped by the tall body of the Beast Group elite. Auntie, her eyes were fixed on Yaou. I have to say, Yayu's height is too short for an old lady. Could it be something like that, a special race? If only I could stay in my country and continue my race. With such a smart head joining the Charlotte family, won't his own pirate group be able to run rampant in the future? Even if I become the Pirate King, it is entirely possible to do it. Ah! How could this kid, so young, be the inventor of the portal? Charlotte Cracker said suspiciously. At the same time, members of the Charlotte family also looked over in the direction of the crowd, but it was obvious that they were still very skeptical about Yayu's identity. After all, if you want to acquire top-level technological capabilities, it's impossible to achieve any results without decades of research and development, right? In their minds, Yaou should be an old man like Vegapunk. Kaido's face immediately turned ugly when he heard that someone actually questioned his own Yaou. Cracker. Watch your words and apologize to the scourge. To Kaido's surprise, before he could even open his mouth, Big Mom on the other side spoke first. The other members of the Charlotte family also looked confused. What's going on? Auntie, why are you speaking for outsiders? Auntie. I just expressed my doubts, why is my mother so angry? After being scolded by Big Mom, Cracker was so frightened that he shuddered. He knew the aunt's fear. If she got angry this time, she might lose decades of her life. She immediately became scared and looked at Yaou. I'm sorry. Lord Calamity. The aunt just glared at Cracker and ignored him. Instead, she looked at Yaou again with a smiling face. Little friend, are you interested in joining our Wanguo? Don't you like inventions? Come to me. Our financial strength in Wano country is much stronger than that of Wano country. This time, it was Kaido who was completely furious. Lingling. Watch your words. It was fine before, but now you are digging my natural disasters in front of me. Do you believe that I will go to war with you? I will raze your kingdom to the ground. Kaido's eyes turned bloodshot for a moment. If Yaou was really poached by Big Mom, Kaido would definitely be able to do such a thing. All the members of the Charlotte family looked at Yaou, their eyes filled with deep envy and even more jealousy. In the New World, 2-4 Emperors-level bosses are willing to go to war to snatch it. Even Katakuri, the role model of their family, doesn't get treated like this, right? Which side will Yaou choose next? Is funding still very attractive to a scientist? If Yaou comes to Wanguo in the future, will his treatment be better than that of brother Katakuri? Yayou's mouth twitched. Even if Kaido hadn't stopped him, he would never have followed Big Mom. The old bidden in front of me is a fertility maniac. More than 40 husbands gave birth to a country's elite. So, you can't play like this. Big Mom, you are insulting my personality. I am Kaido's man. Helping Kaido become the Pirate King is my dream. I don't care about that bullshit money at all. Hurry up and apologize to Kaido, or we'll start a war now. Yaou looked very sincere. Question marks appeared on the heads of the Charlotte family members. It's fine that Kaido spoke to our mother like this, but how dare you, a part-time worker, speak to the four emperors like this? How disrespectful of you! On the other side, Jin's eyes were a little moist, and he recalled the day when he was rescued by Kaido in the laboratory. Mr. Kaido, your charm is still so strong. Then, he tightly grasped his long sword, his eyes like an eagle. The members of the Beast's pirates were encouraged by Yaou and took out their weapons and assumed fighting stances. Apologize. Apologize to Lord Kaido and Lord Calamity. The members of the Charlotte family were all stunned. What the hell is this? Isn't it just about winning over other people's crew members? Isn't this the normal operation of the four emperors in the New World? Why, things got so bad? They knew the aunt's character better than anyone else. It was absolutely impossible to ask her to bow her head and apologize. Right now, the only option is to go to war. Originally they were just two close friends who were having fun with each other, but now the situation has gotten so out of control that it has directly led to a war between the two four emperors groups. This is expected to spread all over the world. However, as the aunt's children, they had no way to stop the war and could only take a fighting stance. The air in the entire cake shop instantly became frozen, and a tense atmosphere filled the air. Chapter 18. You can see the extreme disappointment in the aunt's eyes. Did this kid Kaido give Yaou some kind of love potion? So loyal? Mama. Don't mind Kaido, Scourge, I was just joking. The members of Charlotte, one by one, looked at Big Mom with incredible eyes. Are they hallucinating? Is this something that the old lady who always threatens to shorten other people's lives would say? Only Katakuri had a glimmer of light in his eyes. Mom, you haven't completely given up on collecting Yaou. I advise you to give up this idea in the future, Lingling. Kaido said coldly. If it were any other of the four emperors, Kaido's temper would definitely lead to a huge fight. But after all, Linlin had taken good care of herself on the ship, so Kaido didn't delve into it further. After the reconciliation between the two bosses, the younger brothers around them put down their weapons one by one and the atmosphere eased. Seeing that Yaou could not be won over for the time being, Big Mom set her sights on the anywhere door. Kaido, can you let the natural disasters work hard to build more arbitrary doors and give me one to use? I'll pay for it all. After all, you owed me a favor before, Kaido. Big Mom spoke with a smile, and began to morally blackmail Kaido again. Kaido's mouth twitched, and he refused without any hesitation. Impossible, Lingling. Anywhere door is the strategic core of our beast's pirates. It's already great that I can let you take a look at it, but it's absolutely impossible for you to buy it. Kaido had already thought about it a long time ago that this door could only be owned by himself. No matter how many Yaou made, only their 100 Beasts group could own them. If other forces have the same technology as oneself, this will instantly lower one's status. The members of the Beasts Pirates looked at Big Mom vigilantly. I originally thought Big Mom had changed her personality, but now she is planning to use the portal again? When it seemed that the matter was doomed to fail, Yaou pulled down Kaido's trouser legs and suddenly spoke. I think this matter can be discussed. Yaou said very calmly. To Yaou, the aunt and the others are simply walking experience babies. If all of Big Mom's 4 emperors could come and experience her anywhere door, her points would definitely double again. Yaou felt very happy, as if he saw the diamond 10 draw waving at him. But, Yaou. Kaido still had a hesitant look on his face. Don't worry, I can set up restrictive technology on it. If they want to use it, they must get authorization from our beasts pirates. Is there such technology? Kaido was suddenly surprised. In this way, there is no need to worry about Big Mom threatening one's position. On the contrary, you can use Big Mom to weaken other forces, which is simply too cool. Okay, Lingling. Since we have been friends for so many years, I can sell you the right to use it. But I have to make it clear in advance that this is just the right to use the door. The ownership of this door still belongs to our beasts pirates. Kaido said very seriously. For Big Mom, as long as she could use it, it would be fine. After thinking about it, she nodded and agreed happily. Mama. Is this good enough? Kaido, you decide the price. Kaido thought again. He was good at fighting, but he didn't know much about business. Seeing Kaido's hesitation, Yaou simply set the price directly. Use 5 million Baileys at a time. 1 billion Baileys for a monthly subscription. Cannot be used more than 3 times a month. If it's an annual package, it's 100 billion Baileys, and it can't exceed 36 times a year. You really dare to ask for it. However, I like it. In this case, as long as you rent it out for a year, you can get your money back. It's simply too profitable. Of course Kaido is not a fool. If he succeeds, he will definitely give at least half of the profits to Yaou. Ever since Big Mom started thinking about winning over Yaou, Kaido's sense of crisis has become increasingly greater. I can't wait for Yaou to ask for treatment. As the captain, I must take the initiative to ask for it. Yes. That's right. What do you think, Linlin? Kaido looked at Big Mom happily and asked. Sparrow, who was standing next to Big Mom, had a dark complexion. Their Charlotte family has various kings of the underground world attached to them, and they have strong financial strength. However, Yaou's price did make him a little stunned. Isn't this too expensive? Use it once and it's almost as much as your bounty? Mom, I feel. Before Sparrow could finish his words, Big Mom had already agreed. It is good. Then I'll cover it for a year first. Big Mom, a look of anticipation. A year? That's a full 10 billion Baileys. That's enough to match the bounties of 2 of the 4 emperors. Sparrow felt his heart bleed at this moment. The members of the Charlotte family were also swallowing their saliva continuously. 10 billion, that's 10 billion Baileys. It would be fine if she could buy a door to anywhere, but Mom only bought the right to use it for 1 year, and it's limited to the number of times she can use it. At this moment, they only regretted that they did not have the powerful technological strength of Yaou. Deal. Ling ling. Yaou, half of these rents will be counted as your performance. Kaido was very excited. As expected of Big Mom, she asked for a year's usage rights at one time. Now the financial problem of the beast pirates is solved. Then, the ground shook, and Big Mom dragged her fat body step by step to the door of the Anywhere door. I want to try it now, tell me how to use it, Kaido. Big Mom licked her tongue and said expectantly. As long as you think about where you want to go and go through the door, you will get there. Kaido explained truthfully. Okay? It's that simple? Big Mom once again admired the convenience of the Anywhere door. At the same time, his eyes looked at Yaou, with a hint of respect again. Speaking of which, Kaido, you bastard, you have caused trouble in the Marine headquarters many times before. I am really envious of you. After saying this, Big Mom walked in. Okay? After hearing what Big Mom said, Kaido immediately understood and burst into laughter. Ah, ha 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 ha, that Lingling girl, did she go there? Chapter 19. Ding. Detected that Big Mom used Anywhere door to reward the host with 2,000 points. As expected of one of the 4 emperors, he added 2,000 points to himself alone. I am one step closer to the date of the Diamond 10 draw. Even if I use these points to buy things in the mall, I estimate that I can upgrade my combat power to that of the 4 emperors. However, there was a reason for the lottery that Yaou couldn't refuse. That is, there will be many bug-level abilities in it that do not belong to the One Piece world and cannot be purchased separately in the mall. For example, the dodge points from the last golden 10 consecutive draws directly add various dodges. If you are lucky, you can dodge even the best dodges. The defense is a bug. If I could have another chance to draw a Diamond 10 draw lottery. You all, stop standing there in a daze. Why don't you hurry up and catch up with your mother? It's for one-time use, but there's no limit on the number of people who can use it. Yaou, considering the members of Big Mom's pirate group, gave a friendly reminder. Hearing these words, the members of the Charlotte family felt a surge of emotion. Katakuri, a light flashed in his eyes. To be honest, he had actually been looking forward to using Yaou's incredible invention. Now, it can be considered as free stuff, so he naturally cannot let it go. The next moment, Katakuri took big strides and walked in. Brother Katakuri. Charlotte Irving and Charlotte Dave, the 2 brothers, followed closely behind. Afterwards, Cracker, Snuggle, Smoothie, and many other members of the Charlotte family also stepped in one by one. Ding! It was detected that Katakuri used Anywhere door to reward the host with 1,300 points. Ding! Charlotte Irving is detected using Anywhere door to reward the host with 800 points. Ding! It is detected that Charlotte Cracker uses Anywhere door to reward the host with 1000 points. In the system, pleasant prompt sounds rang out, and a large amount of points instantly poured into Yaou's system panel. Almost all members of the Charlotte family are elites, and their number is extremely large. The total points added up are even twice as much as that of the Beast's pirates. Yaou looked at the balance of points in his system, and there were already more than 30,000 points. To draw diamonds 10 times in a row, you will need to consume 100,000 points. The gap is still quite big. It looks like it will take some time to accumulate 100,000 points. We can only hope for the next technology. The next moment, Yaou clicked to unlock the technology. Ding! Congratulations to the host for unlocking the new technology Senzu Beans. Senzu Beans, the user can recover all injuries and physical strength, regenerate broken limbs, teeth, and bones, and stay hungry for 10 days. The development cost is 1 million Baileys each. It turns out to be the Senzu Beans from the Dragon Ball world? Yaou was pleasantly surprised. This thing was definitely a hard currency in the pirate world. Moreover, if there are 100 of them, that would only be 100 million Baileys? I can definitely develop more and strive to let ordinary people enjoy their own Senzu Beans. When that time comes. 10 consecutive draws of diamonds, it's a sure thing. After seeing the latest invention, Yaou's confidence in starting the Diamond 10 draw campaign soared. My points are still a little low now, but as long as I develop new technology magic beans, then insufficient points will not be a problem. In that case. Then, Yaou started browsing the store. Since the points from the next Senzu Beans can help him complete the 10 consecutive diamond draws, Yaou is no longer stingy. Ding! Armament Haki has been upgraded to intermediate level. Obtained Ryuo Haki. The Conqueror's Haki has been upgraded to the intermediate level. Accurate Conqueror's Haki has been obtained. Ding! Observation Haki has been upgraded to advanced level. I can see 5 seconds into the future. The Magnetic Devil Fruit has been developed to the highest level. The Magnetic Devil Fruit has been developed to the ultimate level. Awaken the Magnetic Devil Fruit. Ding! Improve your physical fitness. After the future points skyrocketed, Yaou simply started to go shopping. A total of nearly 30,000 points were added. With bursts of pleasant prompt sounds, Yaou only felt that the blood in his body became more and more boiling, and his breath became stronger and steady. Ding! A qualitative change in the host's combat power has been detected. Do you want to conduct a combat power test? System, start combat power detection. Ding! Congratulations to the host, your combat power has reached the Vice Emperor level. Estimated combat power bounty, 15 billion berries. Note, the estimated combat power bounty is for reference only. Wow, now, my combat power has reached the level of Deputy Emperor, which is definitely a leap forward. If a fight really breaks out, I'm afraid even Yin may not be able to win against me. Yaou showed a relieved smile. What I had called a natural disaster before, a person who was second to none, now seemed a little hollow. In the world of pirates, only when your own combat power is improved can you feel fulfilled. But at the moment when Yaou's own strength became strong, Kaido suddenly looked at Yaou. What's the situation? Could it be that I feel wrong? Kaido was distracted for a moment. In the New World, the Navy headquarters, Marin Ford, in the Marshal's office, Sengoku sat upright at his desk with his hands crossed and a serious look on his face. Vice Admiral Tsuru, the naval staff officer, stood by and remained silent for a long time. The door of the office room was opened intermittently. Ta. One by one, famous figures in the Navy came over. Akainu is wearing a boutonniere, a dark red suit, black leather gloves on his hands, and a Navy Admiral's coat behind him, upholding absolute justice. Aokiji is wearing an eye patch, a white suit, and yawning. Garp, who was eating senbei in big mouthfuls, also walked into the office. Kizaru, the fastest one, was the last to arrive. Garp, who was a close friend of Sengoku, sat on a chair with his legs crossed, eating senbei and picking his nose. I say, Zhanguo, what's the matter that you called all of us here? Hurry up and tell me. Don't delay my trip to the East China Sea. But this time, Sengoku had no intention of chatting with Garp, but looked at everyone with a serious face. Just now I received a call that the Whitebeard pirates and the Beast's pirates had started a war. Sengoku, a white light reflected on his glasses, spoke seriously. A war between two of the 4 emperors? How terrifying! Admiral Kizaru pouted his lips with an exaggerated look. Admiral Akainu held a cigar in his mouth, puffs of smoke came out, and a hint of coldness flashed in his eyes. Damn pirates, the more dead the better. Aokiji just yawned and said nothing. Even among the four emperors, it is normal to have conflicts, especially among Kaido, a guy with a mental disorder. Not to mention getting beaten by Whitebeard, even if it was the most powerful force on the sea, the Navy headquarters, he would come at any time and got beaten countless times. He was sentenced to death 40 times. But who can blame them for being thick-skinned? There's nothing you can do even if they're disgusting. It's actually nothing, Sengoku. Isn't it just the conflict between Kaido and Whitebeard? It's happened before. You are becoming more and more cautious as a marshal. Garp still looks carefree. Vice Admiral Tsuru glared at Garp, and Garp restrained himself. Then, Lieutenant General, he let out a long sigh helplessly. The key point is that Kaido won this war. The Whitebeard pirates are completely defeated. Chapter 20. What? In an instant, the senior officials in the marshal's office lost their composure. Are you sure it's true? Although Whitebeard is old, he is definitely not someone Kaido can defeat, right? Garp, who had been carefree before, finally became serious at this moment. Akainu did the same and suddenly narrowed his eyes. Yeah, that old fellow Whitebeard, the attack power of the tremor fruit is still terrifying. Zhang Guo broke his silence and finally spoke. This time, the intelligence officer is on the scene, and the intelligence is completely reliable. It is said that after Kaido activated his final form, he defeated the Whitebeard pirates with just 2 moves. My intuition tells me that all this is related to the latest natural disaster. Zhang Guo suddenly stood up from his chair, holding the table with both hands and spoke seriously. Just a Whitebeard is enough to make their navy fearful. Now, there is another Kaido who is more terrifying than Whitebeard. The future of the navy is a bit worrying. Sakazuki suddenly put out the cigar in his hand, and Cap and Aokiji were no longer lazy. Kizaru swallowed, looking horrible. Everyone looked towards Zhang Guo. A natural disaster? All the people fell into deep thought. In everyone's mind, Scourge is a scientist close to Vegapunk. If such a wise man is allowed to serve pirates, their navy will indeed be in trouble in the future. No wonder the warring states asked them to come. I have asked the intelligence department to obtain information about the natural disaster as soon as possible. Also, you all need to be more vigilant these days. It's not good to be lazy like before. After all, there is a saying circulating on the sea right now, this is the era of great pirates. Zhang Guo said meaningfully. Humph. Even if Kaido becomes stronger, what can he do? Before Sakazuki, who was looking unconvinced, could finish his words, the alarm bells of the entire Navy headquarters suddenly rang. Enemy attack! Enemy attack! The outside world soon became chaotic, with explosions heard everywhere. Zhang Guo's face instantly fell again. Just when I told everyone to be on guard, that bastard Kaido came to cause trouble at the Marine headquarters. Needless to say, the only person who could do such a thing is Kaido. Although Kaido's previous defense was strong, his offensive power was slightly lacking, but Sengoku didn't care. In the future, if Kaido attacks again and again, it will be extremely difficult. Humph! You've come just in time. This time, I must kill Kaido. Sakazuki clenched his fists, his face full of fury. As for these pirates, Sakazuki doesn't care who they are, it's best to kill them. After saying this, Akainu, wearing the uniform of the Justice Army, strode out the door. The other members followed closely behind. Don't worry, Sengoku. This time we will catch Kaido again and throw him directly into the underwater prison. He will be under strict surveillance 24 hours a day. You don't have to worry about Kaido anymore. Garp also did not forget to enlighten Sengoku. However, when everyone went out, the senior naval officials were all dumbfounded. At this time, above the sky, a fat woman was standing on a dark cloud, releasing flames. The strange laughter also echoed over the entire Navy headquarters. No wonder Kaido likes to come here so much. It feels so good to destroy the Navy headquarters. Mama. Vice Admiral, he narrowed his eyes and his eyelids twitched. It's not Kaido. Is it Big Mom? The corners of the mouths of Sengoku, Akainu and others also twitched. Big Mom, have you also learned from Kaido and caused chaos in the Marine headquarters? The senior naval officers were all confused. An ant, I was the first one to see Warring States and the others. Mama, they're all here. After saying that, Big Mom did not forget to let the Prometheus in her hand release a ray of heavenly fire, with a look of sharp provocation in her eyes. A beam of scorching flame instantly exploded above a naval building. Rumble. Along with a dozen Navy officers, they were turned into powder. At this time, on the entire battlefield, most of the vice admirals who fought Big Mom at the first moment were seriously injured. Is this the strength of the four emperors? Lieutenant General Mole had a dejected look on his face. Lieutenant General, he narrowed his eyes tightly. Big Mom is not afraid when she sees so many strong men like us? What's the situation? Seeing the arrogant Big Mom, Sakaski's face became so gloomy that it seemed like water could drip out. Big Mom, don't be so arrogant, this is the Navy headquarters. As Sakaski was speaking, bursts of black smoke suddenly appeared on the black leather suit. The next moment, his entire body and shoulders gradually turned into bursts of magma. The huge magma in Akainu's hand gathered from time to time and finally turned into an extremely huge magma fist. Drops of magma fell into the ground, instantly burning out holes. Akainu assumed a fighting stance. Big fire! A huge magma fist with smoke billowing out blasted towards Big Mom. General Sakaski is here, damn, Big Mom is doomed. Sengoku gave Kizaru another look. Really? Are they all so scary? Afterwards, Kizaru pointed his finger at Big Mom, and laser beams shot out. Aokiji was not idle either. Using the ability of the freezing devil fruit, he shot a giant ice bird at Big Mom in the sky. No matter what, let's first put that bastard Big Mom into the underwater prison. Zhangguo also had a look of anger on his face. It's already annoying enough for Sengoku that Kaido has been harassing him time and time again, and now Big Mom is coming too? If this continues, what will become of the Navy headquarters? With the three admirals attacking together, the ignorant Big Ant will definitely be caught by the Navy. Boom! The big fire collided with Prometheus and turned into bursts of fireworks in the sky. But Aokiji's violent pheasant beak and Kizaru's laser were all blasted towards Big Mom. At this moment, bursts of light suddenly appeared in the door behind the ant. Okay? Zhangguo's expression suddenly changed. Why is there a door behind Auntie? It feels a bit weird. Chapter 21. Afterwards, under the gaze of the Navy, members of the Charlotte family suddenly appeared in the door. Katakuri, Cracker, Smoothie. What's the situation? My observation Haki didn't detect the other members just now. Admiral Kizaru opened his mouth slightly and spoke in surprise. Damn pirate! Did you get some weird devil fruit ability? Sakaski gritted his teeth and said angrily. Aokiji fixed his eyes on the door behind Big Mom and frowned slightly. Could it be because of that door? After all, he had never heard of any member of the Charlotte family who had the ability to teleport. The next moment, laser bullets were directly blocked by the biscuit soldiers. Aokiji's violent pheasant beak was also blocked by Katakuri's domineering sticky rice. The attacks of the three generals were all neutralized in an instant. Before, the Navy members had been expecting the three admirals to take action and arrest Big Mom, but at this moment, they were all dumbfounded. What's the situation? Members of the Charlotte family, how did they appear? Come to think of it, Auntie, it seems that he just appeared out of nowhere with that dark cloud, right? I didn't pay much attention to it just now, but now that I see it, it's really weird. The ant who blocked the attacks of the three admirals laughed again, relying on her own magic door. Mama. I didn't expect you guys to come along too. Then, enjoy the fun of destruction. Big Mom opened her mouth wide and revealed a creepy smile. Although Big Mom doesn't have many conflicts with the Navy, as a pirate, her hatred for the Navy is innate. Under Big Mom's command, attacks fell directly from the sky. The sharp sword intent, the scorching fireballs, the glutinous rice fists, the salt and pepper thrusts, the terrifying thunder and lightning, and the various attacks instantly made the entire naval headquarters turbulent. Rumble! Rumble! Damn it! Fight back now! However, the Navy's artillery fire was easily resisted by the Charlotte family's ability users, and they only inflicted more terrible damage. The enemy is the elite of the entire Charlotte family. We can't stop them. We can't stop them at all. Damn it, why did these people suddenly appear out of nowhere? They didn't even give us a chance to react. The morale of the Navy, which had just been built up, was suppressed again in an instant. Looking at the defeated navy, Zhang Guo gritted his teeth in anger, his eyes fixed on the door behind Big Mom. Carp. There's definitely something strange about that door. Go together. Seize that door. Afterwards, Sengoku Garp and the three admirals rushed towards Big Mom in the sky. Ice Age. Pluto. 8-foot beautiful Megatama. The sea is falling. Buddha Palm shock wave. The top naval officers took action collectively, their strong fighting spirit rose steadily, and under the influence of energy balls, the space seemed to be about to explode. Under the influence of the warring state's hegemony, bursts of thunder and lightning appeared in the sky. The sailors who had been forced to flee in a panic after being beaten by the Charlotte family members, now showed excited expressions. Marshal Sengoku and Vice Admiral Garp have both taken action. Damn Big Mom, today is the day you die. You will pay a heavy price for your foolish behavior today. After seeing the true form of Sengoku Garp, Big Mom showed a hint of mockery in her eyes. She said, anyway, I have the anywhere door, so no matter how many of you come, it will be useless. So what if he is a hero of the navy? The incredible guy is coming. I admit that even our 4 emperors can't handle it. But, what can I do? Mama. Today's warm-up action is complete, let's go. The huge portal once again emitted a ray of light, and the members of the Charlotte family walked in with smiles on their faces. Ha 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 ha. This anywhere door is really great. To be honest, I've been wanting to take action against the navy for a long time. It's done. Done. Everyone commented excitedly. Before leaving, the ant did not forget to kill the man and destroy his heart. If you want to arrest me, wait until next life. Sengoku. And I forgot to tell you that we can appear at any time and any place. This is just a small test. Next time, and the next time. I hope your navy can still resolve the crisis, Sengoku. Mama. The old lady's laughter could be heard throughout the square of Marineford. Rumble. Rumble. Above Marineford, there were constant horrifying roars. After the large amount of smoke produced by the explosion dissipated, Big Mom and other members of the Charlotte family had disappeared without a trace. A breeze blew, rolling up pieces of dust on the ground. Except for the various building debris and bricks left after the destruction, it was as if the Big Mom pirates had never been there, and the entire Marineford returned to peace again. Rumble. Rumble. Bursts of thunder. Under the powerful aura, even the climate was changed, and bursts of rain came from the sky. The huge potholes and spider web-like gullies on the earth caused by the destruction were gradually filled by rain. The originally high morale was quickly suppressed at this moment, and everyone felt a little heavy in their hearts. People disappeared. How is this possible? Am I dazzled? Could this be some new devil fruit ability that can instantly move a group of people away? Kirby. You saw it just now, right? These people just disappeared out of thin air. Why? Why do these pirates have such powerful devil fruit abilities? Big Mom seemed to say just now that she can attack us at any time. All the sailors in Marineford stood there motionless, letting the rain wet their uniforms. The originally high morale quickly froze into ice, like the surface of a lake hit by a cold wave, weighing heavily on everyone's heart. Sakazuki saw that his attack missed and his expression became more ferocious. He clenched his fists tightly and punched the ground. Boom! On the ground, with waves of soil flying away, a pit several meters wide appeared. Damn it! It must be that door. Sakazuki, biting the cigar tightly in his mouth, said angrily. Just now, his observation Haki had been capturing Big Mom's actions, and the moment all of Big Mom's breath disappeared was the moment Big Mom walked into the anywhere door. Zhang Guo pushed his glasses, feeling depressed, and suddenly thought of something. Wait, could this be that Scourge's new invention? A glimmer of light flashed in the depths of Lieutenant General He's eyes. Given Kaido's relationship with Big Mom, it's not impossible. After hearing Vice Admiral Tsuru's analysis, Zhang Guo's face became even uglier. Oh no, they won't form an alliance. If that's really the case, things are becoming increasingly unfavorable for the Navy. No, I must report this matter to the 5 elders. Things are far more serious than we imagined. I must report to the 5 elders. In the rain, an old man in the uniform of the righteous army walked towards the mysterious place step by step. Looking at Sengoku's back, even Garp, who was always carefree, sighed. This guy Zhangguo has been getting older and older since he became the marshal. I guess this natural disaster will force Zhangguo to sleep at night again. Will his insomnia get worse? Chapter 22. In the Holy Land of Marin Ford, Pangu City, in a mysterious office building, 5 old men each sat on their own throne. There is an old man with a knife who is stroking the bald head of his beloved knife, a sturdy old man with yellow hair who is half sitting with his legs crossed, an old man with curly hair who is sitting upright, and an old man with a mustache and long hair who is standing straight. Each of these 5 old men exudes the aura of a superior that no stranger can approach. They are not just ordinary old people, but the pinnacle of power in this world, the supreme leaders of the world government, and the backbone of the world government. The so-called Navy and CP organization are just their outer appearance. At this time, Marshal Zhangguo, who was standing opposite them, was anxiously describing the recent situation. Combining the fact that Whitebeard was defeated by the Beast's pirates and the abilities that Big Mom has shown so far, I now seriously suspect that the culprit behind all this is the newest calamity of the Beast's pirates. Just now, the Big Mom pirates used a door to move through space and launched a sneak attack on our navy, and then used this door to escape. Even Zhangguo, when facing the 5 old men, reported honestly. After listening to Zhangguo's description, the calm old faces of the 5 elders finally showed a ripple. The old man holding the knife, with his eyes half closed, raised his eyelids slightly. So, your navy was just tricked by a mere Big Mom Yonko group. The old man holding the knife spoke in a bad tone, and his eyes were full of blame for the navy's incompetence. This. Faced with the rebuke from the old man with a knife, Zhangguo didn't know how to respond for a moment. The bald old man with a mustache standing nearby sneered. Humph, it's just a superficial appearance. How much can you still expect them to do? When nothing happens, you think you are so great. When something happens, you come to us to clean up the mess. The corners of Zhangguo's mouth twitched. Over the years, both he and the navy he led have made a lot of contributions to the world government, but the celestial dragons simply don't appreciate it. Out of instinct, Zhangguo wanted to talk back to the 5 elders, and kept saying, I quit this job. But in the end, reason prevailed. Who made these 5 old guys his immediate superiors? Now, he needs their help. Besides, I will retire soon, so there is no need to affect my retirement due to a momentary impulse. Helpless, Zhangguo had to grit his teeth and prepare to be scolded. The taste is very unpleasant. Fortunately, at this moment, a phone call suddenly came in, which made Zhangguo's bosses stop blaming Zhangguo in turn. Bulu bulu. Bulu bulu. The phone rings. The curly-haired old man, Satan Sheng, who was sitting nearby, stood up slightly, answered the call, and waved to Zhangguo. All right, Sengoku. It's nothing, just go down. This matter is no longer something your navy can handle. Regarding the technological issues, I will contact Vegapunk and handle them personally. If he was pardoned, Zhangguo would run away quickly. Since the 5 elders have already taken on this hot potato, any natural disasters that occur in the future will have little to do with them. Then I'll take my leave now. It was only after Zhangguo left that Saint Satan smiled at the other 5 elder stars. In fact, the 5 elders have their own spy organization CP0, which is much more powerful than the navy in terms of intelligence. Ever since Kaido defeated Whitebeard, they began to notice the existence of natural disasters in any door. This is a list of materials I bought from the Underworld Joker. It was purchased by a natural disaster. The next thing is to hand over these materials to Vegapunk, and the problem of natural disasters will be solved. Saint Satan said with a smile. As the god of technology, he can directly contact Vegapunk. No one knows Vegapunk's technological strength better than him. That's the user of the brain devil fruit, a man who's 500 years ahead of the world in technology. If we develop a technology that others have already mastered and have a bill of materials, isn't it easy to do it? After hearing the words of Saint Satan, the other 5 elder stars breathed a sigh of relief. Although they claim to be the martial gods of this world and possess bug-level devil fruit abilities, they are still somewhat wary of the power of space. Well, with Vegapunk here, that shuttle door shouldn't be a big problem. The problem now is that guy named Tianze. Do you think we need to solve it? After a brief silence, the old man with Whitebeard spoke out his inner thoughts. This smart guy is more dangerous than Kaido. If you can win him over, do it. If not, just assassinate him. Afterwards, he made 2 calls, one to Tong Wang, and the other to Tongwang's spy assassination agency CP0. In a special laboratory of the Naval Science Department, an old man wearing a white coat, with grey hair, a skull cap like an apple branch on his head, and a huge tongue dripping out, is doing experiments on a robot. Ha 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 ha. I finally got the pacifist corrected. Perfect, absolutely perfect. Sure enough, I am the smartest person in this world. The old man danced with joy, intoxicated by his own powerful intelligence. Bulu bulu. Bulu bulu. Seeing that the call was from one of the 5 elder stars, Saint Satan, Vegapunk directly told Saint Satan the good news. Well done, Vegapunk. The world government will remember your contribution. But now, our world government urgently needs you to develop a door that can perform space displacement. We have already got the list of materials. Please work harder to develop it. Okay? Door in spatial location? That is space technology. Before, Vegapunk, who had been so excited and trying to take credit for the achievement from Saint Satan, suddenly became serious. Space technology. That is one of the most difficult technologies recognized in the scientific research community. He had thought about studying it before. But, that thing is simply too difficult. There are many basic principles in it that he still doesn't understand. Not to mention, what kind of space settings have been developed. Mr. Satan Saint. You just said that you got the list of materials for the space displacement device. Vegapunk was completely confused. He was the smartest man in the world, and he had the most advanced scientific research equipment provided by the world government. If you can't research something yourself, there is no way others can develop it. At most, they would just be like those idiots like Germa or Caesar, developing scraps of technology that they had played with and had long since been eliminated. So, he was very suspicious whether he had heard it wrong just now. That's right, Dr. Vegapunk. After receiving a positive response from Saint Satan, Vegapunk was silent for a moment and then spoke eagerly. Who is he? He's a new calamity recruited by the Beast's pirates. He's a scientist just like you. Chapter 23. Someone actually developed it ahead of me, a space machine? Vegapunk widened his eyes, and his facial expression instantly became shocked. As a scientist, I have been deeply involved in the research of space technology. No one knows better than me how difficult that thing is. Originally, Vegapunk thought that a space machine could not be manufactured, but he never expected that one day he would be slapped in the face by reality. Natural disaster, natural disaster. A feeling of jealousy suddenly rose up in Vegapunk's heart. As a scientist, my desire to win was completely ignited at this moment. Rest assured. I, Vegapunk, will develop this space gate for you even if I have to give up food and drink. Afterwards, Vegapunk did not hesitate at all. After preparing a series of materials, he began to work on research and development. 5 hours later, at 2 in the morning, Vegapunk slumped down on the lab chair, his long tongue dripping on the lab floor, breathing heavily, looking weak. When had the assistant beside him ever seen Vegapunk like this? Dr. Vegapunk, do you need my help? Everyone get out of here. During this time, I won't let you in, so no one of you is allowed to disturb me. Crackling. Inside the laboratory, there were sounds of various instruments being smashed to pieces. The assistants left the office quietly without saying a word. Vegapunk was the only one left in the laboratory, looking very confused. That's not right. It's impossible. Why can't I develop it even though I know the formula for the material? That so-called natural disaster, is it God? You know, the Beast's Pirates laboratory is definitely far inferior to our own laboratory. Under such conditions, he, Vegapunk, couldn't even simulate other people's inventions. For Vegapunk, there was nothing more humiliating than this. No. I, Vegapunk, am a great scientist who has been ahead of the world for 500 years. I absolutely cannot be surpassed by a young man. Vegapunk roared for a while, then pulled out a silver syringe from a white experimental drawer. The cold needle flashed under the laboratory light, and then it pierced into Vegapunk's muscles, with drops of liquid flowing into it. This is Vegapunk's invention, Q-stimulant. It can keep him excited for 3 consecutive days and nights, and his intelligence will be increased by 20%. However, the side effect is that he will be overdrawn and sleep for 3 days and 3 nights. Even if I don't eat or drink, I will definitely crack you. Space technology. Afterwards, Vegapunk, as if he had been injected with chicken blood, continued his research work day and night. Some people are happy that someone is worried. After experiencing the magic door, Big Mom instantly returned to her own cake shop. Yaou stepped forward and asked. How was it, Big Mom? Was it a good experience? Sparrow felt annoyed when he heard Yaou calling Big Mom by her name. Just as he was about to go up and teach Yaou a lesson, he was pulled back by the ant's huge hand. Mama mama mama. Brother Yaou, I have to say, it was really enjoyable just now. Now I think I understand why Kaido likes to make trouble everywhere. Those navy men disliked me and wanted to kill me, but they couldn't do anything about my expressions. It was so exciting. The ant laughed and said, and directly changed the way she addressed Yaou to brother. Then stop talking nonsense, Big Mom. Take the money. This time, we will treat you as a new customer and give you free points. In the future, if you want to use the Anywhere door, please report to us and we will send someone to bring the Anywhere door to you. Listening to Big Mom calling him his younger brother, Yaou always felt a chill somehow. It's better to leave here quickly. Without saying much, Big Mom just waved her hand and paid Kaido 10 billion berries. Aloha! Happy cooperation, Lingling. Afterwards, the members of the Beast's Pirates walked towards the Anywhere door one by one and completely disappeared from the spot. Mom! Isn't that Yaou guy a little too arrogant? Sparrow, who has always had a grudge against the Beast's Pirates, walked up and said unconvinced. Okay? Auntie slightly frowned her heavily made-up brows. He slapped Sparrow in the face. Arrogant. If any of you have even half of my technological level, I'll be happy no matter how arrogant you are. Damn it! How could that bastard Kaido be so lucky to pick up such a world-class scientist? Katakuri was smarter and slowly came to Big Mom. Can you please bring Germa and the others with you next time you use it? Let's develop it together. After hearing Katakuri's words, Big Mom's expression suddenly relaxed. With the technological power of Germa, and the power of his own underground world to obtain the list of materials, it should not be difficult to let Germa imitate something. Mama. Among so many children, you are the one I value most, Katakuri. In Wano country, on a Nagashima island. La. You are amazing, Yaou. You are the only one in this world who can make Lingling willingly give up money, Yaou. Here's your bonus of 50 billion Baileys. As soon as Kaido came back, he personally handed the 50 billion belly that he promised to Yaou. Just now, Lingling called Yaou brother, so Kaido naturally knew what Big Mom was thinking. Yaou's future treatment must not be lower. The boss gave him money, so Yaou gladly accepted it. Speaking of which, with these extra funds, I can take a look to see if there is any technology that is suitable for me. After all, if you have top-notch technology in your hands, it would be a waste if you don't let yourself experience the fruits of technology. Then I'll take it, Boss Kaido. Oh right. We only have one Anywhere door technology, and it's not enough. In my opinion, we need to produce at least 2 more. When there are more portals, the upper limit of the number of people we can raid can be raised. When that time comes, we will be able to launch a world-class war. Kaido said excitedly with a grin on his face. This is exactly what Yaou thought. Although you can pass through the arbitrary door all the time, the door is so wide that only a few people can pass through at a time. Therefore, some small minions have no chance to enjoy their own scientific and technological achievements and earn points for themselves. Moreover, the first development of the arbitrary door is relatively expensive and laborious. Once the technology is fully mastered, the production, time and cost will be greatly reduced. In this case, creating a few more portals will definitely allow you to quickly gain points. You can also secretly keep one for yourself for self-protection. More importantly, I don't have to spend any money. It just so happens that I suddenly had a new idea, and I have to go to the laboratory to develop a new invention. Next time, I'll bring it out with you. Yaou said calmly. Any new inventions? The elites of the Beast's Pirates around all looked at Yaou. Wow, Yaou, you keep giving surprises to the Beast's Pirates. Kaido was delighted and looked at Yaou with a look of relief. Suddenly I thought of my son. My son Yamato seemed to be about the same age as Yaou. It would be great if he could be half as old as Yaou. Do you want to let Yaou meet Yamato next time he leaves the lab? After all, Yamato is old enough to get married. Chapter 24. Jin, who was standing by, swallowed and looked shocked. Is this still a human being? Invention, without stopping? You are amazing, Mr. Yaou. From what I can see now, you didn't surpass Vegapunk, but Vegapunk was completely crushed by you. Before, Jin was a little worried that Yaou was only partial in his ability to unleash the Suzanu Devil Fruit. However, after witnessing Yaou's feat of creating the Anywhere Door in just 3 days, Jin no longer had the thought of doubting Yaou's ability. Quinn swallowed hard and looked at Yaou with a complicated expression. I haven't yet recovered from the technological shock that Anywhere Door has brought me. Then, Yaou, tell me, do you have any new ideas? Think about myself again. I spent several years and used so many living people to experiment, and finally I came up with an ice ghost. If Yaou is willing to study viruses, I'm afraid any scrap of technology will be able to surpass his level. The more he thought about it, the more embarrassed Quinn's face became. Drought Jack, who was a bit of a snob, couldn't think of any compliments after thinking for a long time. All he could come up with was one word. Lord Calamity. Brilliant. The girl Runty was also shaking her long white legs, with big watery eyes and a curious look. Lord Calamity, what is your invention this time? Could it be that it is still space technology? Looking at the cute girl Runty in front of him wearing a pink mask, a blue bow and a light blue skirt, Yaou couldn't help but touch Runty's head. Come to think of it, a height of 173 centimeters is quite suitable for me. Well, let's keep this a secret for now. However, I can tell you that this invention will have an epic impact on the improvement of the beast's pirates' combat power. Yaou, just left a suspense. After hearing that this would bring a huge boost to the combat power of the entire pirate group, Kaido burst into laughter. Ah, la 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 la, not bad, not bad. Jin, take the money. Kaido gave the order excitedly while drinking the fragrant wine. But Jin didn't take the money, but there was a black line on his forehead. Mr. Kaido, you really don't care about money and don't know how expensive firewood and rice are. Funds may be tight. After all, 2 portals cost 20 billion Baileys each. After all, our beasts' pirates' food, drink, defecation, various experiments, transactions, war losses, all cost a lot of money. Yin looked helpless. Now, with the beasts' pirates operating normally, including the 50 billion Baileys from Big Mom's rent, he can only squeeze out billion Baileys at most. You can't, shamelessly, borrow money from Yaou, right? Kaido touched his head. He had neglected this. I see, Quinn, Jack, stop the virus experiment and artificial devil fruit experiment first. If all else fails, we can borrow from Kurozumi Orochi, or rob from other countries. We can't delay Yaou's research and development. Kaido said carelessly. He is a pirate, would he worry about money? Even if he is really crazy due to poverty, he will try to rob gold from the sky. Yaou was happy in his heart, this idea is really Kaido. Just waved his hand. Boss Kaido, no need. The first time the cost of Anywhere Door was high, it was because of the product's research and development. Now that we have the research and development technology, the cost will be much lower. All you need to do is give me another 10 billion Baileys. In fact, Yaou even overstated the cost. To put it simply, with the current manufacturing process of Anywhere Door, even if one has 10 billion Baileys of funding, one can secretly build a Anywhere Door by oneself, and then produce 1,000 senzu beans with a total value of 1 billion Baileys, and in the end one can still have more than 10 billion Baileys of money left over to go into one's own petty cash box. Kaido, I am here to fulfill your dream, A&D. Dreams are priceless. For your priceless dream, I take some valuable money, isn't that too much? Boss. Upon hearing that it only took 10 billion berries to create 2 portals, plus a new invention, Kaido was so excited that he directly brought a glass of wine to Yaou on the spot. Ah la 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 la. You are really amazing, Dr. Yaou. This cup, I toast to you on behalf of the Beast's Pirates. The other members of the Beast's Pirates also raised their glasses one by one. Lord Natural Disaster, may you achieve immediate success. Lord Calamity, this time I will be your laboratory security guard. And me. I will never forgive anyone who dares to approach the laboratory and disturb Lord Calamity's research and development. After Yaou finished drinking, without much delay, he left Ghost Island and went to the laboratory to start his scientific research. Kaido was the only one left, but his eyes suddenly became sharp. This time the funding problem has been solved, what about next time? You can't always rely on Yaou to reduce your costs, right? That Kurozumi Orochi guy is going to bleed a little. Then, Kaido's huge body suddenly stood up, exuding a strong aura and an extremely oppressive feeling. With big steps, he headed towards Kurozumi Orochi's shogunate to borrow money. During the days when Yaou continued his experiments, the whole world was already in turmoil. People were heatedly discussing the Anywhere Door and its inventor, Yaou. In the New World, the land of love and flowers, the kingdom of Dressrosa, inside the palace, members of the Don Quixote family gathered together, and a newspaper was placed on the luxurious solid wood round table. As the king of this country, Doflamingo pressed his hands heavily on the two corners of the newspaper on the table, with a very surprised expression. According to the World Economic News Agency, two major events happened yesterday. The Beasts Pirates actually raided the Whitebeard Pirates, and the Beasts Pirates were the winners in the end. Next to Doflamingo, Treble, with a runny nose, opened his mouth wide. Dover. This must be some kind of eye-catching news. In Treble's opinion, how could the Beasts Pirates be a match for the Whitebeard Pirates? So, Torrible didn't believe it at all. The sturdy stone man Pila also expressed his dissatisfaction with his sharp voice. Morgans, in order to sell more news, writes anything that is attractive to people. I think he is crazy about money. Faced with his subordinate's doubts, Doflamingo did not say much. There is also a second piece of news, that is, Big Mom's 4 emperors attacked the Marine headquarters on the same day. In the end, everyone left without any injuries. Big Mom pirates attacked the Marine headquarters? And left without any injuries? Now, even Diamante, who had believed it at the beginning, began to doubt it. Young master, this kind of thing is even more impossible. The Big Mom pirates' Bankoku is very far away from the Marine headquarters. If Big Mom and her entire group were dispatched, they would have been discovered in advance, right? Besides, even if they weren't discovered, how did they evacuate without any injuries? The 3 admirals of the navy and the 2 legendary beings are definitely not just for show. Faced with his subordinate's doubts, Doflamingo did not agree. He was wearing sunglasses, which suddenly reflected a ray of light. I wonder if you still remember the materials that Quinn specifically requested before. Chapter 25. I sent someone to check. Those materials are all used to make a time-space machine. Thinking about the recent news, I suspect it's a natural disaster. Doflamingo narrowed his eyes and analyzed the situation. His intuition as a king told him. At this time, the Den Mushi rang. Master, I am Virgo. After answering Virgo's call, Doflamingo frowned at first, then after hanging up the phone, he burst into strange laughter again. Just as I guessed, the natural disaster of the Beasts Pirates created a door that can lead to any place instantly. Kaido and Big Mom used that door. Those materials from before were used by the natural disaster to develop the portal. This world is really becoming more and more interesting. Doflamingo said with a sharp look in his eyes and a smile. After hearing the latest news about Virgo, the members of the Don Quixote family around were all stunned. Anywhere door? Yes, to anywhere? If this is true, wouldn't this thing be invincible if used for sneak attacks or escape? They were a little skeptical at first, but Virgo and the others knew clearly that if the information was not absolutely reliable, Virgo would never report it rashly. It's actually true. Is there really such powerful space technology in the world? Kaido is so generous that he even let Big Mom use the Anywhere door. Natural Scourge, who on earth is that? I guess, because of the existence of Natural Scourge, the Beasts Pirates have now become the most powerful pirate group in the world, right? Doflamingo ignored the shock of his men. At this moment, a bold idea came to his mind. Since the Anywhere door is so powerful, why don't I, Doflamingo, create one as well? As the owner of the Conqueror's Haki, Doflamingo has never been a guy who likes to be inferior to others. Then, the excited Doflamingo called Caesar directly. Caesar, let's put the matter of the artificial devil fruit aside for now. I have an even more powerful invention that I need you to imitate. I've already provided you with the complete list of materials. After hanging up the phone, Doflamingo burst into laughter again. FFFFFFFFFFFFF, a new era is coming. And I, Don Quixote Doflamingo, will surely become an important first-class player in the new world. Doflamingo has already begun to fantasize about the scene where he will roam the entire ocean after Caesar develops the Anywhere door. At that time, I would have a portal and could commit crimes all over the world, and the navy would not be able to arrest me. It would be so cool. Doflamingo will not give up until the world is turned upside down. The other members of Don Quixote's family also started to smile foolishly. Young master is still smart. Young master is tall, really tall. Ha 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 ha. In the new world, in the unknown ocean, the huge Moby Dick is sailing. Kaido has never been involved in this sea area, so he won't attack us for the time being. Standing on the huge Moby Dick, Whitebeard's already old face looked even more tired. He never dreamed that the little brat intern who was on the same ship with him, Rocks, would be able to defeat him one day. Speaking of which, it's really not a decent thing to do. As expected, time makes people grow old. I am no longer the same as I used to be. Whitebeard laughed at himself for a while. Dad! Stop talking like that. If you hadn't tried your best to protect us in that battle, we would have died. Seeing Whitebeard's desolation, Marco comforted him. Ace clenched his fists, also looking angry. Dad, it's not that you're weak. It's all because of that bastard Tianze. If it weren't for that kid's technology, Kaido wouldn't have suddenly become stronger, and their entire beasts pirates wouldn't have been able to launch a surprise attack on us through the Anywhere door. Ace has always regarded Whitebeard as an idol. He could see that Whitebeard admired Yaou's talent, but Yaou was too ungrateful. He actually rejected his father and hung out with Kaido. He simply couldn't tell good from evil. Naturally, Yaou was a little jealous of him. The other captains of the Whitebeard pirates also looked a little lonely. The Anywhere door shocked them so much that they could go wherever they wanted without any rules. If not, they would have fled to this deep sea area, and Kaido would have been chasing them. It seems that they won't be able to return to the island where my father came from in the short term. Ace. Remember, don't be angry. Anger will make you lose your mind. Also, Yaou, that kid, is indeed not simple. No matter what our relationship with Kaido is like, I still hope that you will never become his enemy in the future. As the king, Whitebeard quickly adjusted his mentality after a brief loss. Kahahaha. Don't be discouraged, there is always good news. Recently, a remarkable devil fruit appeared in the area under our jurisdiction. This devil fruit may be the lucky fruit of our Whitebeard pirates. It can greatly enhance our combat effectiveness. Thatch, go get this devil fruit. All the captains were delighted. Even the father praised the devil fruit, so it must be very special. If a powerful devil fruit appears and there is one more emperor-level member, we may not lose when facing Kaido next time. Okay, Dad. Sachi took the order directly. At this moment, a fat dark figure suddenly emerged from the crowd. Ha 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 ha. This is really good news, Dad. However, now that Kaido has the Anywhere door and is keeping an eye on us, I think we should be careful. Why don't I follow Thatch and go get this devil fruit together? He has a black beard and a simple and honest look. It's rare that you're so thoughtful, Thatch, so let's go together. Whitebeard simply waved his hand without any further doubts.